and she will advance to the semifinal round on Saturday. Right now, Novak Djokovic is playing in his semifinals match. He won his first set and is up 3-2 in the second set.
It's time.
You know what time it is?
The game for Tuscaloosa's longest running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best.
Always is to win a national championship.
It's something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. And now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
How are you doing, Tuscaloosa? It's good to have you. It's an off day on the campus of the University of Alabama, but not really an off day, if you know what I mean. Probably a little individual, a little bit of team drills. They'll work their way back to the practice field tomorrow morning. And even though it is going to be the weekend, we're going to have you covered. We're not going to come in tomorrow afternoon and do a show, but we will be able to connect with you on the Facebook and the Twitter, and we'll put up we have an offensive coaches and player availability tomorrow. So Nick Sheridan, front and center. When you look at the offensive coordinator of the campus of the University of Alabama, we'll reflect on some of the Kane Womack audio, maybe even some of the Kalen DeBoer audio, and then also on Sunday morning, we will have, I believe that is the first day in pads on the campus of the University of Alabama. Kalen DeBoer will talk again. So we're going to get a lot of Kalen DeBoer. I mean, I was looking through the media availability. He's made himself accessible, and we're going to take full advantage of that. So even though it's the weekend, we invite you to connect with us, Tide109.com, Tide109.com. Remember to find us on Facebook. We have our Tide account, also my individual account at Ryan C. Fowler. I'd love to be able to drive that number up. Around 24,000 people follow us on our Facebook account, and probably another 25,000 on the Twitter account. But just do a simple search, Ryan Fowler. Say thank you. We appreciate that. We put up a lot of videos, whether it's coaches or players or even practice, and we'll share some of the photos as well. And we'll get ready for Alabama Crimson Tide football. You know, we've been talking a lot about this energy, and our energy is back. And first off, let me welcome Simon. Simon, it's good to have you back, man. I saw you walking up the stairs a couple of minutes ago, and we've missed you, my friend. You've been out summer camping for the last few weeks over in Mississippi, I believe it was. Good to have you back, Simon.
It's great to be back.
It is good to be back, man. I mean, we know football is ready, and we're going to energize here. Were you able to stay? I mean, because I know you told us that you were not able to have the internet, or were you able to have the internet at all when you're at camp?
No, we didn't. You're not supposed to have like anything connected to the internet. You're not supposed to have anything touchscreen.
And so you went there for 6 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah. I got there June 23rd, and I got back like midday on the 31st. July 31st.
Tell people what type of camp it is, if you don't mind. You don't have to. Okay, that's fine. But
I can say it.
Okay.
It's a Jewish summer camp. It's a Southern Jewish summer camp.
Jewish summer camp. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to put pressure on you, but yeah, I mean, so matter of fact, did you know that Blueberry Steve is Jewish? Did you know that?
I think you mentioned that to me about like right before I left.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, Blueberry Steve is also. So Blueberry Steve took a trip a couple of weeks ago to Israel and had a chance to send me a little button. I wear it right here on my backpack. So, Simon, it's good to have you back. Good to have you back. Wyatt's across the glass as well. It is going to be a free-for-all Friday here in Tuscaloosa, presented by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you're building from the ground up, let's build something together. It's Brian Harden Construction. We greatly appreciate you for being a part of our show. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to react to a lot of different things. We're going to have some fun. Hey, it's free-for-all Friday, and I'll be very curious what's on your mind. Today is a show that we complain about a lot of different things, and there's certainly a lot of things out there in the world of sports that we could do that too. Free-for-all Friday, presented by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you are building from the ground up, let's build something together. Brian Harden Construction. And last night I was talking with a former player at the University of Alabama, and he was trying to get a little scoop on what exactly this offensive line looks at. So that was a lot of fun to talk about a former offensive lineman, and kind of pick my brain about the offensive line. And I said, hey, I think this offensive line has a chance to be very, very special. I think it has a chance to be really, really good. And we'll talk more about that as we travel on. There is some good competition, some good healthy competition. And I think a lot of us are focused on those tackles. How is that going to anchor down between three different guys? I guess you could add a fourth guy in there, but not really. But when you look at two different positions, three guys fighting for two different positions with Wilkin Formby, Caden Proctor, and Elijah Pritchett, how will that all work out? And what will the first couple of days first couple of days without pads, and then when they put the pads on, is any of that change? We'll also look for LT Overton, who's been missing a couple of days. It was nothing serious, just an illness, not an injury, an illness. I think overall this team looks fairly healthy. I think when you look at Jalen Hell, probably one of the limitations. I don't see a lot of no-contact jerseys. But I did hear an audio clip that really got me thinking. I'm going to have to give this guy credit because he brought it up. Clint Lamb was on the next round with those guys. And Clint brought up a real good comment. He was talking about the vibe here on the campus of the University of Alabama, the energy out here. But he also talked about, in the last couple of years, think about the theme of the season of anxiety. A lot of that was just they did not have a lot of confidence in the system. But I thought he brought that up and said, these players are playing with a lot of confidence. And maybe that's that vibe that we're talking about. We have been talking about it since the spring. But when you look at it from, reducing that anxiety, you do see it in the players. When you interview these coaches or players, there is a confidence part of that vibe that we're going to dive into. So right now we are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. We'll go to Bo Bounds coming up in a couple of minutes. Brent Beard at 3:30. We'll take your phone calls right here on the game. We got plenty of audio, plenty of things to get into. Bo Bounds coming up in just a couple of minutes right here on the game. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230. WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
This hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
An already successful businessman is weeks away from opening Southern Ale House Dockside, the first ever restaurant on Lake Tuscaloosa. Two Pickens County men will each spend 20 years in prison after they pleaded guilty last month in two separate cases involving the sexual abuse of children. And severe storms are possible this afternoon and evening in the northern half of our listening area, including in Tuscaloosa County. For the details on all these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters.
The Pharmacy at Midtown with TJ Thomas, 205-752-0627. PharmacyMidtown.com. Don't forget about the retail side of the Pharmacy at Midtown. It's an independent-owned pharmacy specializing in walk-in prescriptions, medicine on time packaging.
Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-670-5151. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
DanielMooreArt.com. Daniel Moore Art celebrates those special moments of Alabama football history like 4th and 31, Jalen Milroe connected with Isaiah Bond, or the legacy continues with all the great memories of Alabama Crimson Tide football. You can celebrate Coach Saban with a Nick Saban print, the limited edition canvas. You could also find many of the great mini prints. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. DanielMooreArt.com. The Game, that's the code word for a significant discount. And when you check out, tell them that you heard about it right here on the game. DanielMooreArt.com. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823. Custom curbing for your home or business. Do away with those plastic individual stone borders. Go for that more permanent decorative concrete border. No more grass growing between those individual stones. Cleaner to edge to maintain. They're willing to travel, not just here in Tuscaloosa, but also in our neighboring states as well over in Mississippi. Many colors and choices. They'll customize for that individual taste and house. Give them a call at 205-331-6823. You could also go to their Facebook account, Find their page. You can see exactly what the videos. They came out, did a free quote. Paul gave me an evaluation. Give them a call, 205-331-6823. Free quotes and evaluation. It is Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
For this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures peaking around 97 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely as a front moves through. You'll see the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts due to that strong heating and unstable air. The heat advisory remains in effect until 9 p.m. Those heat index values approaching 107. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 74. Chance of an evening storm. Tomorrow, a sunny and warm with a high near 94.
I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
The Game with Ryan Fowler. Powered by
We welcome you right back into the game. Sorry, I was a little bit late coming out of that break. We're going to get to Bo Bounds coming up here in just a couple of minutes. It's Rumsey Environmental. It's a one-stop shop serving West Alabama for all of your waste removal needs. When you have to know it's being done right, that's the time to call Rumsey Environmental, 205-248-0002. We're going to do Bo Bounds coming up in just a couple of minutes. He's going to kick things started with a free-for-all Friday sponsored by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you are building from the ground up, let's build something together. We're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. We are going to be talking a little Alabama Crimson Tide football with Bo Bounds, ESPN 105.9 in Jackson, Mississippi. We'll get to him coming up here in just a couple of seconds. We're going to react. I know Lane Kiffin was even using some of that rat poison talking about to his team, and we'll dive into that. But when you look at Ole Miss, we'll ask Bo Bounds if he really believes in what's happening in Oxford. And I'm not talking about just a 10-win season. They've got that. They're looking for some bigger things up in Oxford. Let's go to Bo Bounds, ESPN 105.9 in Jackson, Mississippi. Bo Bounds, Roll Tide to you. Hope all is well. Welcome into the game in T-Town.
It's a Roll Tide Friday.
It is. We call it a free-for-all Friday. I mean, if you've got anything, Bo, that you want to go on a rant about, I mean, anything, okay, anything, you're welcome to do it right here on the show. I mean, if you got a neighbor's cat that's pooping in your yard, this is the show for you. If you want to complain about the postman throwing your Amazon packages all over the neighborhood, we call it get it off your chest on a Friday. You got anything bothering you?
We're getting closer to college football season.
We are 29 days.
20. So I'm really, I feel good about it. I'm smoking a cigar and chilling out and talking to you.
Okay. Hey, Bo, did I see a couple of days ago that you had a political analyst on your show? Did you do that?
I did.
Okay. So are you?
I did.
Okay. Help me because, see, we get into politics over here when we take phone calls quite a bit. It's kind of hard to avoid. The intersection between sports and politics is very, very close these days. Would you agree?
Well, sports is politics.
Well, that's true.
I mean, life, school, your neighborhood, there's school boards, HOA boards, your local alderman, everything is political. So, and plus, college football has had to go to Congress, NFL, NBA, MLB. So thinking that, is it something that I want to do like around the clock?
Yeah.
No.
But the economy impacts what you and I do from not just advertising standpoint, but also when you look at these athletic directors trying to generate money in this economy. Go out and give me $10,000. Well, I don't have $10,000. Okay, give me $5,000. Don't have $5,000. When you're trying to rally the troops to get donations, I'd hate to know I was in Greg Burns' shoes or any other athletic director across this country.
Well, so, the reason why we did it is because it was huge. I mean, I'm a U.S. citizen, voter, taxpayer. So, and what had happened last week was, it impacted anybody and everybody, regardless of their ideology or which way they vote. So, yeah, at that moment, we decided to bring on a political insider. It was the right call. We received the most text on our text line.
In a positive way?
Our text line is very active, but we received the most text on our text line than we had all summer over over bringing on, when Biden decided to not run for re-election, but stay on as president. So we thought we would bring on, which makes no sense. I mean, a 6-year-old could figure this out. And it's definitely not 1 + 1 = 2. So we decided to bring on a political insider, and we thought it went well.
Okay. Well, it makes me feel good that other sports shows sometimes get into the politics of things. But like I said, I mean, I know that it's
there's some congressional oversight in college football or college athletics, period, and all the pro sports. So to say that there is no politics in sports is not accurate.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, like I said, from the donation standpoint and the way that donations are needed now more than they've ever been needed. Like I said, I would hate to be in a position of fundraising. I would hate to be in a position right now because, people are struggling to buy the everyday necessities, a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread,
sure,
a dozen of eggs. That is, there's no secret, and you keep seeing these unemployment numbers. I just wonder if it will impact the stadium attendance. Because when I see Alabama dropping little tweets out here going, hey, you can buy tickets for Western Kentucky. They just happen to be returned from the visiting team. And we're 29 days out. That doesn't happen a lot around here. This will be the first game under the Kalen DeBoer system. I know it's Western Kentucky, but you would think it's an evening game, so it's not going to be in the middle of the day.
Yeah, well, I think that is that's here to stay. People are not interested in going to see Western Kentucky or Furman play an SEC team. So I don't even know what you can do about that. I know that the upper levels of stadium, the upper decks of stadiums will continue to struggle. You'll be in good shape in the lower levels, especially between the 20s, and in the club levels in the suites. Those are going to be packed, either all home game or almost packed, right? 85+% to 100%. But there's, you can't beat that Furman or somebody's coming in and someone sits in the upper deck and it's hot and they're like, I'm going to go. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't care. If somebody doesn't want to go and they want to stay at home in Birmingham or Huntsville or Jackson, Mississippi and watch it on TV in the flat screen, but they go to 6 of 7 home games. One, that's their right. They're buying that ticket, but 2, I get it. I'm covered. I'm in a covered area. I would not sit I wouldn't sit in Bryant-Denny Stadium in the upper deck if you paid me to watch them play Western Kentucky or Furman or whoever in September. Now, some people would, but if I looked up, I'm not offended if I looked up in that upper deck, and let's just say it's 75% full, right? I'm not blaming anybody for not, and I don't blame the students for going for a little while to a Western Kentucky or Furman game. I have two students here at Mississippi State, and I don't blame them for, hey, okay, we're going to go to the game, and once it's 21-0, we're going back to our apartment or the frat house or somewhere with air conditioning. Look, when Bama's playing Georgia or even Ole Miss or A&M or Tennessee, the overwhelming majority of the time, those people are going to stay. And that's just something that's not a battle that I'm, or a fight that I'm worried about, or that any of the SEC teams are going to win.
Bo, I want to talk about Alabama, but I also want to talk about Ole Miss. I saw just a couple of days ago that Lane Kiffin had a meeting with his team to understand how to handle all this positive publicity around Ole Miss. Can they live up to these expectations? Because the expectations here, they're college football playoff bound. For one, are you buying it? Do you think they can live up to this expectation?
Yeah, I mean, I think they could. They may not. Are they good enough to go 10-2? Sure. Could they go 11-1? Maybe. I mean, they've at least got a shot. Running the table will be extremely difficult for any team in college football, including Georgia, Bama, or Ohio State. So, but yeah, look, they're really good. They are well coached. They're bringing back an insane amount of players that have started and been productive. And so they should be excited. Can they do it? Can they run the race all the way to the end? Who knows? You kind of look at it in September. That's a cakewalk for them, right? But you have to remember, I don't care if you're Alabama, Georgia, or Ole Miss. You can get beat up and lose players when you're, or it's a physical toll, even when you're playing a Georgia Southern, okay? Because anybody can get hit in the hip, or the knee, or the shoulder, or whatever, and it's a compound deal over time. Obviously, the Georgias, Bamas, Ohio States can take that because they have more players that can actually be productive, right? This is a very simple math formula for all of us. Now, does Ole Miss have Georgia, Bama, Ohio State? The question is, do they have the same frontline talent? And then do they have the depth to withstand September physicality, October's games of physicality, and November's games of physicality? And then if they get into the SEC championship game, that's that physicality. And then how many games will you have to play depending on whether you get a bye or not? This is still going to favor Georgia, Bama, and Ohio State because of their depth. And front, not just depth. It's not just depth. It is also your studs, your stars, your frontline players. So it is a gumbo recipe of having, the most shrimp and crab meat and the good stuff in that gumbo, not the rice and the okra. And so, can they bite off the elephant? Well, that's not because y'all are that. So the piece of pizza, it's going to be one slice at a time, one bite at a time, one slice at a time, then go to another slice. And that's why we all love it. Can they do it? I don't know. I mean, can they go all the way? If somebody's asked me, can they go all the way to the national championship game and win? I mean, right now I would say no. They haven't proven that they can. Could they do it this year and get there and see where the ball play Bama or Georgia or Ohio State in the national championship? I mean, they could. It'll be even extremely difficult for Georgia, Bama, or Ohio State. I mean, Bama knows that. Bama had a good team last year. They beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. That is unbelievable. And then they didn't quite get through Michigan. So it happens. They could have played Michigan again the next week and won. It's just the way football and sports goes. So Ole Miss, this is going to be a fascinating case study. There's only really been two teams, Ron. Of course, this is a different day. And every 8 to 10 years in college football is a different day. But Clemson did it. Clemson went and got the champ in Bama. Oregon made a run, and it was a beautiful run and an amazing run. But when they got there twice, Ron, against Auburn and Ohio State, they didn't make it through. It doesn't mean that they failed. They just didn't make it all the way. Now, today, we have an expanded deal where you're going to have to play more games. So I don't even know how Bama and Georgia and Ohio State are going to handle it. Much less, Ole Miss and let's say, who out of Bama and Georgia. So Georgia and Bama are the two favorites in the league. And then Ole Miss and Texas, are knocking on the door. Can they do it? I don't know, but they may can. Will they have a phenomenal shot at getting to the college football playoff? Absolutely. One, because of their talent, two, because of their schedule. And then is there another team lingering out there that could be in the hunt? Tennessee, LSU, probably that's it. You know, maybe A&M, but I don't know they're quite ready, but they're going to be so much better and well coached. So, you know, that's how I see it. But Ole Miss has the tools outside of the three favorites in Georgia, Bama, and Ohio State to at least put themselves in position for it. I just don't know how many games they're going to play. And gosh, now do you want to almost avoid the SEC championship game because of playing multiple games in the college football playoff? I don't know. I mean, I know what Georgia can do. I know what Bama can do. I don't know what they can do this year. I know what they can do as programs. Because every year is different. But Georgia's going to pull the toughest schedule they've ever pulled in the history of their program. Now, are they the team that is best built today to possibly navigate their way through, Ron? Possibly, yeah. Go to Bama, go to Texas, and go to Ole Miss and win 2 or 3. Well, they can even lose 2 or 3. They'll be in at 10-2. But could they just drop one of those 3 and be 11-1 and still be in good shape? No doubt. So, but Ole Miss's schedule is cake compared to what a lot of the other teams will have to face to get there. So you have to take that. It's not just talent. A lot of it is, and coaching, but it is your path. And they pull Kentucky, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Mississippi State. And that is a beautiful draw. And I like Tennessee's schedule, although they're not as talented as Ole Miss, but still they can navigate it. And I like Texas's schedule. So we'll just have to see, you know, who can navigate all that. And you can't get a critical injury. You can sustain everybody. Alabama's going to have injuries. Georgia, Ole Miss, all of them. The question is who's going to get injured and who can come back. You know, that's something else. You get a kid who gets injured on October 10th, unfortunately. But that kid can come back in December for the run. But then you're going to have kids that get injured in October who are not going to be available the rest of the year. So you just got to, you know, the math and the variables and all that will play out, you know, week to week, and it'll be exhilarating and fascinating and full of ups and downs for everybody. Highs and lows.
Okay, when you look at this Alabama team, okay, if you say Nick Saban would have came back for another year here in Tuscaloosa, how much would Alabama be amplified? How much more? Because it's almost like, yeah, they're outside of that top 4 or 5 looking in from a national perspective. I mean, you're seeing it.
Well, they're not from mine.
Okay. So
I don't believe that.
Okay.
That's nonsense.
Well, I'm glad you don't, because, Bo, when I go to practice.
The best 3 teams in college football today, again, depending on what plays out with, you know, injuries and so on, you could see something else. But the top 3 teams are Georgia, Bama, and Ohio State.
Rat poison. I don't know what Caleb on the board might throw.
And then there's a group.
Bo, this time last year, if we were playing an interview, you had a lot of doubts.
Well, that's because your staff wasn't any good. I mean, you know, you were going into the season without a proven commodity at the most important position on the field. So there's difference. See, I'm not here to go. I mean, do I think they're better off? This is so crazy to say because he's the greatest ever. They're better off today right now with DeBoer because of what he can do offensively. I don't know what Saban was going to do at OC. I mean, who knows? Maybe he nails the OC hire. Let's just say he decides to stay on, okay? And he moves on because he would have had to have moved on from Tommy Rees. I'm not here to beat up on Rees. I'm sure he's a nice guy. But he's not Kalen DeBoer. He's not Sarkisian when he was calling plays for you. He's not Kiffin when he was calling plays for you. So the bottom line is the way the game is driven today, offensively, and it's all driven by explosive plays and what you do in the red zone, then DeBoer gives you an advantage. I'm not saying that DeBoer is a better coach than Saban, but I'm saying right now this gives you a better opportunity. He can do more with Milroe, and he can do more with your offensive skill players, barring Saban finding another. And he was on the right track. He just got turned down by the Washington guy who came with DeBoer and then went to the NFL, as you know. But the bottom line is he landed on Reese, who's an average OC. And even if you're Bama, you can't have an average play caller, Ron, unless you've got unless you've got a player like Cam or Jalen or
you're talking about Milroe or Hurts?
No. I'm not. I'm talking about Hurts. Unless you've got a guy who's just a phenomenal, you've got to have a guy who can overcome average play calling, and y'all weren't in that position last year. Do you see where I'm going?
I do. Yeah.
So, but this year you've got a player who's now played. Okay. He went through all the battles. He got to play a ton. He got to see what was going on. He got better, even with Reese. And now you've got DeBoer, who's he and Kiffin and Heupel and Sark as a play caller, not a head coach. And these guys are top of the food chain. So you have a better chance to leverage your offensive skill talent with Milroe and generate more explosive plays and have more success in the red zone. So to me, that's a benefit having DeBoer this year. That doesn't mean that I believe that DeBoer's a better coach than or a better program manager, CEO in his career, because that wouldn't be the case because of what Nick did the last 23 years at LSU and Bama. You see where I'm going there?
I do. I mean, Bo, in
other words, it's more nuanced than me just saying, DeBoer. Yeah, I mean, DeBoer's going to be better this year because it's because I don't know what Saban would have done. He may have nailed the OC, and y'all may have just been almost at the same spot, Ron. In other words, he may have found the next guy. Boom, pair him up with Milroe, who's got a year under his belt, and y'all are basically in the same situation, being able to be you have to be a top 5 to top 10 offense to run the table. Not run the 10. I don't mean win every game, to get all the way to the championship game. Right.
Bo Bounds being very bullish on Alabama. He believes in the Crimson Tide. I like it, Bo.
Well, why wouldn't I? I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I think it's dumb. I don't even, these polls, I mean, I get it. We all have to pontificate, speculate, and prognosticate this time of year because it's fun. We love the game. And we're curious, you're curious as to what your team's going to do, all the teams and the teams you play and whatever. So am I. But the bottom line is, I mean, this is simple to me. It's Georgia, Bama, and Ohio State. That doesn't mean that someone can't come up. Look what Michigan did last year. Tip of the cap. He didn't have top 5 talent. But they were nasty in the trenches. They had a veteran QB and they had a coach who's world class, and they were able to put it together. Some years you can have all that and still not break through to get through these top 3 teams that I'm saying. And some years you can. So we'll just have to. That's why I can't wait to see, who's actually a bona fide. We won't know till later. Okay, who is a bona fide national champion contender, right?
Bo Bounds, ESPN 105.9 in Jackson, Mississippi. The Out of Bounds show, 7 until 10 in Jackson, Mississippi, heard around the world. You can find it right there on ESPN 105.9. You can also podcast it, YouTube it. Bo Bounds has definitely got a face for radio. I do not. They're thinking about adding some video here. I'm always worried about picking my nose, or I don't know. I mean, that's part of radio. I mean, I get mad at callers. I get mad at guests from time to time. And, I watch you, and you're like a TV guy.
Well, look, I'm the here I am, a bald-headed guy doing sports talk radio, and they actually put it on video. But
a lot of people watch it.
Oh man, it's great. It's fun. We're doing more with it, and the in studio interviews are fun. We'll be bringing on the guests on video, and a little bit more interaction. Morning drive is different than what you do. I mean, a lot of what we do is similar, but morning drive is different because you goof around more. You have to have a little bit more pop culture. You really have to mess around a little bit because people are getting up, getting their bearings. They're about to go to work and get beat up a little bit. And so it's just a little bit different deal. Now you're still in the kind of the heart of the workday right now, but as your show unfolds in the afternoon and you get more into happy hour and or just people getting off work, then it turns into a little bit different vibe because people are thinking about what they want to they're like leaving work and listening to you or whatever. So there's all kinds of different wrinkles, as you and I know, throughout, depending on your time slot and kind of what's unfolding throughout the day.
Bo Bounds, ESPN 105.9 in Jackson, Mississippi. Bo, thanks for kicking off Free for All Friday, man. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great weekend and enjoy these last couple of weekends without college football. I don't know if Mississippi State and Ole Miss has got you guys working, but we have got non-stop practice all the way through the weekend. So
I know. Look, I love jumping on. Thanks for having me, and keep up the good work. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Thanks, Bo. Bo Bounds helping us out, man. Extended conversation. Bo Bounds being bullish. He believes in the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, we'll take your phone calls on a free-for-all Friday in Tuscaloosa. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports. The game is powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. David DeSantis, the largest selection of new Toyotas in over 3 years, can be found on Skyline Boulevard, 3325 Skyline Boulevard. Also a nice inventory of pre-owned inventory. You can find the new Tundra, the 2024, the Tacoma two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. How about a new 4Runner, Highlander, RAV4, Camry, Corolla? For those outside of Tuscaloosa, saved money.
Changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823. Custom curbing for your home or business. Do away with those plastic individual stone borders. Go for that more permanent, decorative concrete border. No more grass growing between those individual stones. Cleaner to edge to maintain. They're willing to travel, not just here in Tuscaloosa, but also in our neighboring states as well over in Mississippi. Many colors and choices. They'll customize for that individual taste and house. Give them a call at 205-331-6823. You could also go to their Facebook account. Find their page. You can see exactly what the videos. They came out, did a free quote. Paul gave me an evaluation. Give them a call, 205-331-6.
Tuscaloosa is blessed to have such an excellent team at the Madison Cancer Center.
Great things are happening at DCH.
Tide 100.9. For more coverage of Alabama football, visit us at Tide100.9.com.
Welcome you right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports. I do remind you about R&R Cigars, locally owned and operated by Reagan and Randy Starner. It is relax and recharge, R&R Cigars. Let's continue with more phone calls. We'll get those. Let's go here, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Paul in Lincoln, you start us out. Paul, good afternoon, my friend. You're in the game.
Ryan, let's embrace the suck on this free-for-all Friday.
Okay. Embrace?
AUCK.
Okay. All right. Well, that stands for what now? What was the AU again?
That AU?
Yeah.
That stands for the Auburn Tigers, right?
You mean that team that's
Tigers.
lost 3 in a row and
That team that's actually lost 4 in a row to Alabama. They've got 3 consecutive losing seasons. That's a pretty good streak. This is the thumb year for Alabama in T-Town and Bryant-Denny. So I'm feeling good, Ryan. I'm feeling good.
Hey,
their misery will continue.
I got a random question for you. Okay, I mean this is really a hypothetical here, but if I told you, because I know that you always end your call with what is it? Roll Tide and what was it again? Roll MAGA. Roll MAGA.
Roll MAGA.
Make America Great Again. By the way, the Build Back Better's not really working. It's kind of,
it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I think anybody that has a 401k or any type of stock, you would probably agree today. If I gave you the option to either pull for Auburn, and if you did, that would guarantee a win in November, would you do it?
No.
Okay.
Pull for Auburn.
Pull for Auburn. No. If you decided to pull for Auburn for the entire year, that means that you could guarantee a victory by Donald Trump in November. Would you do it?
No way. Not only no, Ryan, but hell no. There's no way. There's no way I can pull for Auburn.
So it's Paul saying go Kamala go. Is that what you're saying?
No. That is.
I should never do that. I know it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was set up.
No. That's fine.
Yeah, It
was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Perfect setup. Ryan, you realize my disdain for the Auburn Tigers, don't you?
Oh, I know.
But I love my country.
You do. Yes, you do. You're a great American.
I love my country so much that I can't do it.
All right. Well, okay. Let's reduce that just to one game. One game. You pick the game. Would you do it for one game? Like, would you do go paint your face blue and orange, go down, set in a.
Oh. No, Rod. Boy, I tell you what, this is like the free for all Friday. I thought I was calling.
All right. Screw Ryan's hypothetical. Simon, this is wrong to treat one of the top callers in our. So, Paul, I apologize. I don't know where I'm at. I'm crazy today.
Ryan, I'll tell you this, Ryan. If that game happened to be against Tennessee, I would say there's a chance.
Okay.
I could do that.
Okay.
There's a chance.
Okay.
There's
LSU, maybe?
No. Only Tennessee.
Okay.
Only Tennessee. But, Ryan, I will tell you this. It's good to know that your show is not the only sports show that delves into politics on occasion. I listen to Bo Bounds, and we're not the only ones that kind of put a premium on where our country's at and where it's headed. So that's some good news. I did contact through email the Trump campaign today.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, and whether it gets read or not, who knows? But I told them, and I think we could all be in agreement, to stick to the issues, stick to the policies. It's a no-brainer. Who cares if Kamala identifies at one time as an Indian or is a black lady? That's not going to move the needle in this election. Stick to the policies. Stick to the issues. She's joined at the hip with Oatmeal Joe. Oatmeal Joe's policies are her policies, and she's even more radical than Oatmeal Joe. Stick to the issues, and it's a no-brainer, okay? That's what I told them.
Now, at the end of the day, it's all about the economy. I mean, you can't run on something that's not there.
It's the economy. It's the border. It's the transgender movement. I mean, foreign policy. Stick to the issues. I mean, it's pretty simple, if you ask me. So that's my rant.
All right,
Ryan.
Paul. I'm glad you got that off your chest, and I apologize for getting you off in the gutter. I mean, I feel like Hugh Freeze.
No.
We're trying to drag you somewhere that you don't want to be.
I'll never get in the gutter on that, buddy. Yeah,
Okay.
That's fine. Perfect, buddy.
All right. So, Paul, let's go back just for a couple of minutes with this Alabama Crimson Tide football that we focus on every day. We're 29 days away. By the way, Minkah Fitzpatrick, great number, probably one of the greatest.
What a player Minkah Fitzpatrick was. Man alive. I saw some of the video, the clip of the Texas A&M interception that you put on. Man, that game had kind of gotten a little tight, Ryan, if you remember. Alabama had a pretty substantial lead, and it right there, in the fourth quarter, it got. Maybe tight's not the right word. It got within striking distance, I guess, and he put A&M out of their misery with that pick six. Earlier in that game, he had a pick six as well. So
he did. That was
what a player.
I mean, that
was a player.
Well, and I tell you what, it gives me a little bit of confidence is that you can make that impact as a true freshman, and it seems like the reason I chose Minkah Fitzpatrick at 29 days. I mean, for one, it's pretty automatic, but it also a great reminder that freshmen can make an impact. And if you remember correctly, he got torched. Matter of fact, in the 2015 national title game, Hunter Renfrow went straight at him.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow sure did. He did.
But you can make an impact, and I think you can make an impact now in this college football more than you could then.
I do. I agree as well. I mean, and you heard Coach Womack talking about the freshmen in the secondary yesterday during his media interview.
Yeah, Zabian Brown's going to be a superstar. I mean,
Zabian Brown, Mincy,
Mbakwe,
Jalen Mbakwe. Yes, man alive. And you couple that with the experience that we have back there, Ryan, Malachi Moore, Keon Sabb, the transfer from Michigan. I mean, he's played a lot of ball. I tell you, the more I hear these coaches, it's a controlled. Let's see, what's the word? I'm excited. It's kind of guarded, but I'm like Bo Bounds, Ryan. This is one of the top three most talented rosters in the country. I believe that. I mean, Coach Saban, the way he recruited was, it's well known. It was lights out, and it looks like this coaching staff is, the torch has been passed to them guys as far as recruiting goes. But it's I'm anxious to see. Fan Day's coming up on the 11th, a week from Sunday. So looking forward to getting down there and being a part of that. So. A lot of excitement in Tuscaloosa, Ryan. And again, thanks for you and Wyatt's coverage on the Twitter side. Really appreciate all that you guys are doing.
Just wait till this weekend. I mean, I've still got a bunch of stuff that I haven't even put up that we had some interviews yesterday. So we will do that. It's it's pretty crazy the amount of content that Coach DeBoer and just be honest with you, I probably wasn't in shape for all of this content. I mean, I've got to stretch out my fingers. I got to be able to build up that thumb strength to be able to, these kids, no pun intended, but like Simon, our prodigy across the glass, he types on his fingers probably as much as I do on the keyboard. I mean, he can, 30 words a minute.
Yeah.
I'm over here going TH, hold on, E. I mean, I feel like
fat fingers,
like Coach Saban. I screwed up. That not an O, an E. Well, then I got to go. So I'm not where I need to be, but I'm not where I was once at either. So, hey, Paul, have a great weekend, man. Roll Tide to you.
Roll Tide and roll MAGA.
Right back to you. Thank you so much. We'll come back. Ron and Maryland coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I do remind you about the Wharf. If you're looking for a new pair of jeans, Wrangler, Levi, Lee, you'll find those. Carhartt clothing, Rocky clothing, all the name brands of Justin, Tony Lomber, Red Wing, Georgia, Double H Timberline, Laredo, and many different more. The work in Western wear for the entire family. We'll continue with more of the game next. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
For over 5 years in our community in downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge, Mark's Mark, the home of the chicken swirl. You'll find that since 1978 in Selma, Alabama, for over 5 years in downtown Northport. If you want to dominate the grill today or any day, find Mark's Mark. A great stop by on your way home. If you're preparing for dinner, they've got a lot of those gourmet dishes that you can find, the great casseroles, the dips, the appetizers, the great steaks, the pork chops, the burgers, and all the supplies you need to dominate the grill.
It's usually checked at least once or twice a year. Let your doctor know you are concerned about the health of your kidneys and ask what you can do to keep your kidneys healthy.
You're inside the game on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Hey, we continue with more of the game. We're going to take your phone calls coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Ron and Maryland, don't go anywhere. We're going to work you into the conversation coming up here in a couple of minutes. I don't want to pin you up against the top of the hour break as we enter the 3 o'clock hour. We'll talk to Brent Beard coming up in about 40 minutes. It is a free-for-all Friday sponsored by Brian Harden Construction here on the game on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Alabama Credit Union with the official countdown to Alabama Crimson Tide football right here on the game, alabamacu.com. The mobile app saves a lot of time. The mobile deposits, checking, savings, mortgage, home equity loan, financing a vehicle, the great competitive rates. Alabama
Renovations. Experience the wow factor. Contact Shoot Masonry and Specialties at 205-887-3807 today and unleash your home's full potential.
Rumsey Environmental, a one-stop shop serving West Alabama for all of your waste removal needs. If you're in the construction business, take a little bit of stress out of your life. The construction debris removal containers customized to fit your job site, the portable toilet service, the storage containers to protect your valuables. It's Rumsey Environmental for that complete waste removal service. When you have to know it's being done right, that's the time to call Rumsey Environmental, 205-248-0002, RumseyEnvironmental.com. Don Wallace CPA, 527 Main Avenue in downtown Northport. Small business and personal income taxes, payroll, sales tax needs. They can also help you with nonprofit or church accounting or auditing. In business since 1999, they work for you, not the IRS. When you take on taxes, you got to have someone on your side. It's Don Wallace CPA, 205-345-5595, 205-345-5595. Don Wallace CPA, the official accountant of the game.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
For this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, temperatures peaking around 97 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely as the front moves through. You'll see the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts due to that strong heating and unstable air. The heat advisory remains in effect until 9 p.m. Those heat index values approaching 107. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 74. Chance of an evening storm. Tomorrow, sunny and warm with a high near 94.
I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles,
Here's Dan Byer.
At the Paris Olympics, Leon Marchand grabbing the show again. The Frenchman winning his 4th gold medal of these games, setting an Olympic record in the men's 200-meter individual medley. Another action in the pool, the women's 200-meter backstroke. While Australia's Kaylee McEwen won gold, American Reagan Smith grabbed a silver. Men's basketball, Canada got past Spain today, 88-85. Spain will not advance to the quarterfinals. Canada is on their way. Germany is up on France right now, 37-23. About 3 minutes to go until halftime in that contest. Both of those countries have already clinched spots in the quarterfinals. In golf, after 2 rounds of play, American Xander Schauffele, Japan's Hideki Matsuyama, and Great Britain's Tommy Fleetwood share the lead at 11 under par. While in men's tennis, the gold medal match is set. Spain's Carlos Alcaraz will face Serbia's Novak Djokovic. Tests on the knee and hip of Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith came back negative. He's not expected to miss much time.
Everything. She loves to move, she loves to groove, she loves a lot of things. All night, oh, every night. So hold tight, ooh baby, hold tight. Oh, she said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it. She said,
All right, we are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. The great dealership right there on Skyline Boulevard and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. If you're looking for a new Tundra, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, how about a 4Runner 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive? You can find that. You can also see RAV4s, Highlanders, Camrys, Corollas, and all of the pre-owned inventory. It is happening at Tuscaloosa Toyota. TuscaloosaToyota.com. It's a free-for-all Friday here in Tuscaloosa. And let's go, presented by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you are building from the ground up, let's build something together. It's Brian Harden Construction. Let's continue with more phone calls, and we go here to Ron in Maryland. Ron, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
It is, Ron. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Well, first, real quick, I'm a big Journey and Steve Perry fan, so I like that intro music there. But anyway,
well,
I don't want to get off.
So is Kalen DeBoer. He won't tell us that that's his favorite group, but he will say they're up there. That's all he's told us.
Okay.
So
well,
until we break into his home and steal his iPhone to see if it is his number one play song, we will never know. So he's kind of kept us in the dark on that.
Well, I got a lot I want to unload about this upcoming season because there's naysayers out there, Ron. There's naysayers.
There are.
Now, listen, and some of them are saying, well, Alabama can't be that good this year because they're changing their offensive and defensive schemes. Okay, the players say that the new defensive scheme is easier, so that's that. But offensively, I think we got the best offensive mind in college football. And the other thing, this is the most talented roster that he's ever had. But we all know that he's been a winner everywhere he's gone, but it doesn't take him 2 or 3 years to build a team from being a bad team into a winner. He has them as a winner the first year he's there. Washington was 4-8. The 2 years he was there, 25-3, and went to the national championship game. So there's that. But what I want to do is, for the expectation about Jalen Milroe, he's already had a experience as a starter. He's been to the playoffs. But I want to point out about Michael Penix's career and some stats.
Okay.
He was in college for 6 years because of a redshirt year and a COVID year. But when you look at his career, I think it's very significant. His first year at Indiana is not Alabama, okay? His first year at Indiana, he was redshirt. Throw that one out the window. His second year at Indiana, he was a redshirt freshman, first-year starting quarterback, and he put up Heisman quality numbers. 3 of his stats for the season were better than his Heisman runner-up year at Washington, and 2 of them are extremely important stats. Let that sink in for a minute. His third and fourth year at Indiana, he stunk up the joint. if you looked at his fourth year at Indiana, you would never say that this guy was going to go in the top 8 picks in the NFL draft. No way. Now, why was he so good as a redshirt freshman, and then the next 2 years, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? Why? His offensive coordinator was a guy named Kalen DeBoer, and he left after that year, and that's why Penix's career went down the toilet without DeBoer. Is there any wonder why, as soon as Kalen DeBoer was named the head coach at the University of Washington, that Penix packed his bags, jumped in the transfer portal, and headed to Washington.
And became a top 10 quarterback. Wow.
As soon as he was reunited with DeBoer, the guy that made him great as a redshirt freshman, he was great once again. We know what he did at Washington, okay? But just a couple of the stats, just to show you that I'm not lying. Completion percentage is pretty important.
Sure.
As a redshirt freshman at Indiana, 68.8%. His Heisman runner-up year, 65.4. He was better as a redshirt freshman at Indiana. His quarterback rating, which that one's pretty important too. As a redshirt freshman in Indiana, it was 157.6, and his last year at Washington, 157.1. And he had 119 yards rushing as a redshirt freshman and only 8 yards rushing as his last year at Washington. But, of course, he'd had a couple of knee injuries. But why is that significant? It shows that if Kalen DeBoer has a quarterback that can run, Jalen Milroe, that he will run him. So you can look at his stats for his career, and those were the three that were higher at Indiana than they were at Washington. But all of his numbers with Kalen DeBoer at Indiana were right there with what his numbers were as a Heisman runner-up. Now, a little while ago, you were talking about offensive line. I want to mention something else about the offensive line. You know, Washington won the Joe Moore Award. Well, I watched the Washington-Oregon Conference Championship game, and one thing that you would notice about them was their offensive line was very athletic, and they could run. And if you look at our recruit class this year, with 3 5-stars and like a tackle that is a 3-sport athlete in high school, he's recruiting offensive linemen that are athletic and they can run. That's what he wants. So watching that game in the championship game against Oregon, Ryan, with his schemes, Washington's offensive line was hitting Oregon's defense. And, you know, Oregon, Dan Lanning built them kind of like a SEC team. They were hitting them from angles. They didn't even know what was coming. By the second quarter, Oregon's defensive line wasn't even trying to come across the line of scrimmage. They were standing up with their head on a swivel trying to see where they were going to get hit from next. So that is why, you know, we were too heavy last year. We were heavier than the NFL teams on the offensive line. And so that is why, as soon as Coach DeBoer got here, I think all of our offensive linemen were told that you need to go on a diet, you need to lose some weight, you need to be able to run, and you need to increase your athleticism. And so that's what I expect from our offensive line this year. I expect the same kind of thing. And you can see it in his recruit class already, that's the kind of offensive lineman that he is targeting, that he's recruiting. And so that's where we're going. We're going to have a very athletic.
Well, I think what you just said, I mean, Ron, you made some really good points around Michael Penix, but I think you could also tie that back to the quarterbacks, because I think most of us thought there would be a portal entry from the quarterback position, and there were not. There was nobody that said, you know what, I don't believe in this offense. They understand that they can get better, even if they're a backup, and be ready to take position of this quarterback competition once Jalen Milroe departs. So that's one of those things that, you know, we kind of dive into a little bit. So it will no doubt, man, wow. You kind of got me excited talking about the quarterback position, because Kalen DeBoer is so involved. When you go to practice, Ron, he is as hands-on as any coach I've ever covered. And I've covered a few of them in Tuscaloosa, and including Nick Saban. Nick Saban was very hands-on. Man, this guy, wow. I mean, he's out here holding a tackling not a dummy, but like a stuffed whatever to knock the ball out, trying to, ball security drills. But it's more than just that. I mean, he's testing his wide receivers. He was testing the quarterbacks the other day with, being an edge guy. He's out here as a cover corner trying to track down his wide receivers. I mean, he is involved. And I think that's the part that they see that. I think there's a big excitement. And I think, I kind of credited Clint Lamb with this earlier. But one of the things he talked about last year is they had a lot of anxiety. They were not very comfortable with the system.
I know. I'd never heard that word.
I mean, it wasn't just last year. It was all over. I mean, anxiety. The Tennessee games where it came up, Will Anderson pointed it out.
No, it came from one of our absolute best players. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But I want to mention about Jalen Milroe, too.
Okay.
What's a couple of things we know about him? He was number 4 in the nation in completion percentage over 20 yards, which means he can throw the deep ball. We know that. The other thing we know about him is he is going to scare the crap out of every defensive coordinator with his feet that we play against this year. We already know that. So the things that people say he needs to work on, pre and post snap reads, short and intermediate passes. Well, who better to make him improve in those areas than this coach that we have when you just look at what he did with Michael Penix? I think Jalen Milroe is going to have one heck of a year.
Ron, it's good to hear from you. It's been too long, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Well, I've had some time, but I do listen, and if I can't catch you live, I catch the replay.
Thank you, Ron. It's good to hear your voice, man. Appreciate you as always.
All right, roll tide.
Roll tide. We'll continue with more of the phone calls coming up. Blueberry Steve, Montreal, Canada, you're on deck, and we'll get to you next. Stephen in Raleigh, North Carolina, that leaves one line available. He made some great comments about Michael Penix. Let's go back to Kalen DeBoer talking about Jalen Milroe. We'll do that coming up in a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
An already successful businessman is weeks away from opening Southern Ale House Dockside, the first ever restaurant on Lake Tuscaloosa. 2 Pickens County men will each spend 20 years in prison after they pleaded guilty last month in 2 separate cases involving the sexual abuse of children. And severe storms are possible this afternoon and evening in the northern half of our listening area, including in Tuscaloosa County. For the details on all these stories and more, get connected.
That perfect piece for your engagement, anniversary, or birthday.
Come experience the difference of shopping local. Visit Hudson Pool Fine Jewelers, downtown Tuscaloosa, or at hudsonpool.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
For this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, temperatures peaking around 97 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely as the front moves through. You'll see the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts due to that strong heating and unstable air. The heat advisory remains in effect until 9 p.m. Those heat index values approaching 107. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 74. Chance of an evening storm. Tomorrow, sunny and warm with a high near 94.
I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
A national championship team covering a national...
Right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Let's go to Blueberry Steve, Montreal, Canada. Blueberry Steve, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Oui, mon ami. All is well.
All is well. Good, man. Good. Having a great day.
Great. So much to talk about on this Free for All Friday.
Presented by Brian Harden Construction.
Let's build something together. Ryan, first of all, you really put Paul on the spot there.
I know it. I mean, friends are not supposed to treat friends like that.
Gee whiz. Anyways, before we get into all that stuff, I wanted to talk a little bit about So Bo Bounds, your guest, he took a little bit of what I wanted to say. I want to talk a little bit about Coach DeBoer's coaching staff. The fact that, three of them? Nick Sheridan, the OC, I think Jamarcus Shepard and Courtney Morgan, all three of them followed Coach DeBoer. This is a reason why I think that Coach DeBoer is going to hit the ground running and do real well right at the beginning, because he's got a familiarity of, like, Coach Saban. He had to break in Tommy Rees, and Tommy Rees just wasn't there. I believe Nick Sheridan, Ryan. I believe he'll do a much better job with Jalen Milroe. You know,
I think we're all expecting big things out of Jalen Milroe. I think it's a year in the system. Don't want to put the cart before the horse, but as Ron and Maryland just went through, the Michael Penix stats don't lie.
Yeah, no. Ron's call was fantastic. By the way, did you have a chance to listen to that clip on your website with the interview with Jalen Milroe by Steve in DC? It was posted up on your website.
I did not.
Okay, well, one of the things they asked him was what he credits his speed to. You know what he said? He said he credits his speed to learn to, as a kid, having to run after the horses on the family farm and try and catch them.
That's a good way to get some speed, man. Those horses they glide, but at one point Jalen Milroe was one of the fastest guys on the team.
Yeah. And anyway, I think that Nick Sheridan and Coach DeBoer, they're both going to be working with Jalen, right, and all the QBs. So I don't know.
But I think that's the issue. When I say issue, it's a great luxury to have, but these backup quarterbacks, when you go out and watch them throw, whether it's Ty Simpson, I was watching some clips yesterday that I had recorded from the morning session. I mean, he gets the ball out quick, man. That's a quick release. And you can see even his confidence. I mean, I know we spend a lot of time talking about, QB1, but QB2, QB3, QB4, there's some confidence there. I mean, Austin Mack.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me that I need to join up, what do they call that, X, so I can see your postings?
I do it on Twitter. I put videos up on Twitter. I also do it on Facebook. I do, things that they allow us to publish. Yeah.
Ryan, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter, but I think I might join. Which one should I join? Which one will I see more content of what you put up?
Well, Facebook, I can pick up longer videos, so I would probably do Facebook. And
you know what? I'm gonna create it just for that. I'm gonna do that.
Well, you got a lot of people that want to connect with you. So, I mean, Blueberry Steve, you got a little fan club that's developed here in Tuscaloosa.
Well, what a great group! I tell you, honestly, a great group. It's an honor. Yeah, I'm going to join. I want to see these practice videos. I do. So, anyways, what I was saying, like the fact that he Coach DeBoer was able to bring these three guys with him, Sheridan, Shepard, and Jamarcus Shepard, and was it Courtney Morgan? This is going to help him because I think that he will. How can I say this? He will be in a. He will be. His way of doing things will be more easily transferred to the players. One of the great things of Coach Saban was also contributed to one of the problems that he had was that he was such a great talent in developing coaches that all the coaches left, and he had to keep hiring new coaches all the time. Right?
Well, that's one of the big problems with Coach Saban. I mean, it was no longer that he could hire the quality.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what I think. I'm not worried about Georgia at home. I'm not worried about any of the home games. I worry about the away games. I think we're going to win probably 10, maybe 11 games. But I'm concerned about the away games. Tennessee, LSU, and the Sooners. Those I don't think Georgia is going to have a chance against us at home. I don't care what they say. I don't care where they're at. The away games. It seems. Excuse me. It seems a lot tougher. Do you ever get that feeling?
You mean tougher on the road?
Yeah, tougher on the road. It's tougher for the team to play road games.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. It is. No, I mean, I think it's easy. I mean, I think that's an easy prediction.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Baton Rouge is never easy. Going to Knoxville has been easy for Alabama, but needs to even, get to a point. I mean, there's some stadiums that you can go and handle, but, to be able to deal with it. And think about this year, you're going to have some of your neutral site early playoff games. If you have to go on the road and play those, you may be playing a playoff game. I mean, can you imagine the atmosphere?
Yeah, well, once we get there, I'm not worried. The team will be. I'm a little worried, honestly. I'm a little worried about those three games. I think we'll probably only lose one, but Tennessee, LSU, and the Sooners could be problems, I think. Anyways, it'll be great. I'm just so excited about everything. Can I get into a little rant now?
Yeah, you are more than welcome on a Free For All Friday to get a rant. Let it rip.
Okay. XX chromosome equals female. XY chromosome equals male.
Hold on, that's so complicated. Can you explain that again, please?
XX equals F. XY equals M.
Okay.
It's algebra. It's science. Those idiots, those loony lefties. I mean, honestly, they've been during the COVID. Follow the science. Well, if you have an XX chromosome, you're a female. You're a woman. If you have an XY chromosome, you're a male. You're a man. You shouldn't. There's no reason to allow somebody to beat up on a girl like that. It's criminal.
Well, it's all in the name of being woke.
Right. And, I watch a lot of, I watch all, the only TV show aside from sports that I watch is Fox News. Laura Ingraham, great Tide fan, as I know you've told me in the past. So she said three things last night. Number one, this lovely administration that you have down south, not much better than mine up here. Trudeau the idiot. But anyways, they did a plea deal with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and two others to avoid the death penalty. The DOJ let two Jordanian Palestinians who tried to get into Quantico out on bail. And they just rewrote Title IX. What's going on with these idiots?
Blueberry Steve, when you put it like that, it's like, what is really going on? We can't define. We had Tommy Tuberville on Tuesday. He kind of painted some language that, it's even hard to get people up there to decide, hey, is it okay? Can you hang out in a female's locker room and be a dude? Okay. Yeah, he said, can't get any help. So we have a lot of major trouble, and that's pretty evident with some of the latest numbers that are coming out. The stock market tanked today.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
631 points on the Dow.
610, NASDAQ down about 417, 100 on the S&P. But, hey, listen, Build Back America Better. Man, it's really working. And if you don't believe me, go grocery shopping. You'll see it.
We have it up here in Canada. Blueberries are even expensive.
Even blueberries are expensive. Hey, Blueberry Steve, I got to get to this break, man. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Okay, roll Tide and roll MAGA.
Thank you, Blueberry Steve. Montreal, Canada. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tempur-Pedic clearance beds, plus get a $300 gift, all with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Light up those phone lines on the game with Ryan Fowler. 205-342-9904. You're inside the game on your home for Alabama sports.
All right, we welcome you right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. We're doing a free-for-all Friday presented by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you're building for the ground up, let's build something together. Let's continue with more phone calls. We're going to do that coming up in a couple of minutes. We got Brent Beard, First Coast News, and coming up after that, we will talk with Stephen in Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll also dive into Robert in Mobile. I see you. We're going to work our way to you, and we're going to react to a lot of different things right here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. They're trying to get Brent Beard. We're going to get him on here in just a couple of seconds, and we'll do that, and then we'll work our way back to a couple of different other things that is on our mind here in Tuscaloosa. So we'll get to Brent Beard coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Tuscaloosa Toyota powers the program. We are doing a free-for-all Friday here in Tuscaloosa. And like I said, Brent Beard's going to react to a couple of different things, practice all over the SEC happening right now. And we'll do coming up here in just a couple of minutes with Brent Beard. So we'll get that reaction. Then I don't want to take another phone call until we get to Brent right here in just a couple of seconds. So hopefully we've got him, and then we'll go straight into phone calls, and we'll be free the rest of the way home. I do remind you about Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. You'll find some great steaks there. You'll find great prime ribs, great pork chops. That is the big topic of conversation there. So let's take a quick phone call. We'll squeeze in Stephen in Raleigh, North Carolina. Stephen, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ryan, roll Tide.
Hey, roll Tide to you.
Oh, Bo Bounds was really high on Alabama today. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. Yeah, Bo was
good.
Bo was very bullish on Alabama.
Yeah, I think it just speaks of what we've been talking about, where our quarterback situation is kind of settled this year. I found it interesting what kind of confirmed what we thought about Tommy Rees and what he was saying. That Tommy just wasn't meant to be he wasn't the best offensive coordinator that we've ever had, and now that we've got Kalen DeBoer, you're looking at a Jalen Milroe that just looks way more confident out there. So your last caller, I believe it was the last caller, who kind of went into the Michael Penix numbers. I found that to be very interesting. He did a great job with that.
Well, think about a young man that probably wasn't on the radar at Indiana, who became a top 10 pick. I mean, that's what grooming quarterbacks is all about. And I voted for Michael Penix third last year. And I think I voted him second this past year. So I voted him in the Heisman race third in 2022 and then second last year. I mean, his stats stacked up against anybody.
I was listening to Wyatt earlier on his midday show there, and he was predicting Alabama to be top 5 offense and top 20 defense. And I looked it up, Ryan. You know how many teams did that last year? Top 5 offense, top 20 defense? 1. It was Georgia. So if we end up there, if we end up where Wyatt's saying, we're going to be right there in the talk of everything, which I believe in, regardless of what anybody else is saying, I believe that we will be anyhow. So looking forward to it. So when we talk again next week, we'll be playing. We'll have pads on, right?
Should be. I would imagine Sunday's probably first day in pads, and that's just a guess. They practice 2 days. I believe there's an acclimation period of 3 days, And I believe Sunday will be the first day. I looked at the schedule. It's not listed. It's not out there in order, but I think Sunday is first day in Pats.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. You know, you had Digger on yesterday after I talked to you on the show. And Digger, I'm sorry, you're the one calling our an Alabama radio station. You are not living rent-free in our head. Digger calls just about every show on this radio channel. And if anybody's living rent-free, it's Digger. We're living in rent-free in Digger's head.
Well, we found out yesterday why Digger, we've learned a lot about Digger this week, right? And we learned why his nickname is Digger, because he digs oil wells, or his dad did. So that's where his nickname came from. But also they were Texas A&M people. So he was the little rebellion kid that didn't want to wear Texas A&M colors. And at third grade, he made the switch. And think about it, 54 years, one national title in 54 years. But if you ask them, they'll remind you about swimming and diving championships.
Well, there's two things common with attorneys in Austin, Texas, and I'll leave it at that. And you can figure that out yourself. But they have a thing in common, attorneys in Austin, Texas, and they're not MAGA, I'll put it that way. But roll Tide, Ryan.
Steven, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Have a good day. Bye.
Let's continue with more, and we'll go to Brent Beard. We'll go down to First Coast News down in Jacksonville, Florida. Brent Beard, I hope all is well. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Well, it's a good week because everybody's on the practice field. And as far as the calendar is concerned, if this goes with what is typical, Alabama should be looking at their first scrimmage a week from tomorrow, which will, in a lot of ways, set their the depth chart. And then that second scrimmage it goes a long way in helping them with special teams and so forth. So we have lived this 25 practice schedule for years, haven't we, Ryan? And that's not saying that Kalen DeBoer can't kind of spice it up a little bit or change it up a little bit, but that's kind of what we expect.
Yeah, a lot of buzz around this Alabama football team. I think when you go out there and you see the talent on one field, not just on a piece of paper, you're going, man, that's a very talented football team. That's not a team that, I could justify saying 8th in the country or 7th in the country. I think if people are saying that, they're underestimating the Crimson Tide.
Well, I think that I would agree. I think they are. They've still got to figure out the secondary, but they've got incredible talent in that area. And frankly, the rest of that, you look at them unit by unit, and they are unbelievably talented. They're in really good shape. They've lost some needed weight, particularly on the offensive line. And they've just got guys who are, I think, are ready to play and will play. And I think this one, there's some nice differences with this coaching staff in that it appears they're going to play more players. You've got to do that when you're in this, and because you're playing more games. That's incredibly important. And I think to be able to hear from these coordinators, to have the access that you've had, frankly, at this point has been a welcome change.
It has been. And we were just talking about a couple of minutes ago, one of the callers brought up the Michael Penix numbers, and he talked about it, and he said, well, you look at him of how with DeBoer, without DeBoer, and then reconnected with DeBoer at UW, and he talked about his stats, and I was looking some of those up. You do look back and you say, man, wow. He really does make the confidence in those quarterbacks grow.
Well, look, and Penix was really one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. And I know this is more of an aesthetics thing and just a byproduct of what he did, but he threw, if you remember this, Ryan, maybe the prettiest spiral of anybody that we've seen in quite some time. And what they've been able to do to, no doubt, develop these guys has been special. Penix was special, but there are other guys on this Bama team going to be special too.
Yeah, a lot of things. Brent, let's go around the SEC a little bit. Give me some other headlines, because I know we focus in on Alabama. We get dialed in on Alabama. What's grabbing your attention in the SEC?
Well, the NCAA reaction to Kentucky, again, in a lot of ways is ridiculous. So people haven't heard. This came out of nowhere today, that the NCAA came down with the decision to put Kentucky on probation. And look, this was stuff that basically happened during COVID. I mean, it was almost 5 years ago, which is just amazing in this absolutely abysmally silly vacating wins. Look, if you want on the field, you want on the field. That's the way it really needs to be. These redacted wins need to be, frankly, I think, given back to a lot of these teams, and that would certainly help Alabama if that can happen. But I mean, I think really what you're seeing here, Ryan, is the NCAA still trying to show they have some teeth and show that they can punish some teams, and really what they did, and the way that they practice, and the way that they, that they said they turned in hours for work that they didn't do. A lot of this stuff during NIL would have been legal. When it happened, it was not. So that's one thing. But people look at Ra Thomas being thrown off the Georgia team had to happen. Look, I mean, there are no good things that happen out of these vehicle situations when they've had citations. But what's happened with Georgia is when you're dealing with children and when you're dealing with women, you've got to be gone, Ryan. That's just all there is to it. And that they made a smart choice. They needed to show their fan base and their players that they had that they could make sensible decisions in being able to get rid of some of these players like Ra Thomas. And look, when you added up spring roster for wide receivers of Georgia, there were like 22 receivers on that spring roster, Ryan, and they're not going to miss one receiver on the field.
Are we giving Kirby a free pass with all these different arrests and issues that they've had throughout the last couple of years? Because one of the callers called in and said, you guys are kind of giving Kirby a little bit of a free pass. Would you agree with that?
We've talked about that down here a lot. And that, look, when you've got as many as 24 to 26, depending on who you read, arrest, that's a problem. That's a real problem. I mean, Kirby said in media days that we're finding guys through the NIL, that we're going to take games away. That remains to be seen. And we're bringing in education and so forth. But look, when you the point that we have talked about down here is, do you get to a point with this, Ryan, to where that it goes beyond Kirby Smart and it goes to the athletic director, and heaven forbid it goes to the president and the board of trustees, and that really creates a problem. And frankly, if you're a head coach in situations like this, if it goes beyond what your authority is and your jurisdiction, if we can use that with this team, that's when it becomes a problem. So I think a lot of people are waking up and asking that same question: is why is this not working? And at some point, what kind of responsibility does Kirby Smart have to take?
Yeah, I mean, both of you and I have got brothers. I remember growing up in my household, if my older brother got in trouble, I paid close attention. If my younger brother got in trouble, I paid close attention. I was like, hold on, I don't want to cross this. It just seems like from an outsider looking in, and maybe this has to do with the portal, and it has all, I mean, because, now can you discipline players the way that you used to be able to discipline? I don't know.
No. And again, look, the only way that you're going to discipline players now is really with either doing something with their NIL or playing time. I mean, that's really what they pay attention to now. I mean, if you're on the bench, I don't care who you are, that is a problem. And Kirby needs to send a message to this team when they start playing that some of these guys are suspended for multiple games. But look, Ryan, this has to be nipped in the bud before someone else gets seriously hurt again.
Brent, we were talking about Ole Miss earlier, about how much hype is around there. We went over to talk to Bo Bounds in Jackson, Mississippi earlier, and I'm sure that we'll be focused on this in the coming days. But, even so much that Lane Kiffin even said, hey, we're having to tell our players not to buy into this, not to buy into this. A lot of hype. Can they handle the hype over in Oxford?
I think they can. The thing that's going to help them is they've got more of they've got more slack in the rope, shall we say, when you're in a 12-team playoff as compared to a 14-team playoff. See, Ole Miss, Missouri, Penn State, those are teams that probably aren't going to make a 14 playoff, but they can make a 12. Now, offensively, they're terrific. I mean, Jackson Dart, Trey Harris, the guys that they have got offensively are as good as anybody. The question is going to be can they be better again under Pete Golding? Now they've got guys, Princely U, who came from Florida, Walter Nolan, who comes over from Texas A&M. They have done a good job, I think, bringing in portal guys and bringing in talent. If people haven't look at the Missouri and Ole Miss schedules. They're very easy, and that's one thing that's really going to help Ole Miss in this game. They've got a November game with Georgia at home. That's going to be really huge for them. So I think they're at the point where they can probably deal with the hype of getting in the playoff and how much pressure that creates when they get in there is another thing, but widely expected to be a playoff team.
Yeah, Brent Beard, I appreciate you as always, man. We got to get to this break. I saw where Travis Reier, your partner, which was my partner for a long, long time on the radio side of things back in the early 2000s, he is leaving BOL, the 3 side of things, and retiring. I feel officially. You're going to be able to get him into the podcast, Brent? You're going to be able to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did a podcast together yesterday, and we will continue that. Let me encourage people to check out Travis's YouTube page, where he's going to have a lot on there, and he will continue to follow SEC sports in Alabama and still be doing a lot with it.
And rightfully so. Brent Beard, I appreciate you and Second Helping, you and Travis Reier. You can also find him at First Coast News, Jacksonville, Florida, ABC, NBC News affiliate. Brent Beard, thank you so much, man, for being a part of the show.
Always, brother. Take care.
Right back to you. Brent Beard helping us out there. I do remind you about Nuke's Eatery if you're looking for a great sandwich, including that French dip sandwich. You will find that. If you're looking for the great chicken salad, the pimento cheese, you'll find those options. You'll find it at Nuke's Eatery, 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455. Nuke's Eatery. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
For this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures peaking around 97 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely as the front moves through. You'll see the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts due to that strong heating and unstable air. The heat advisory remains in effect until 9 p.m. Those heat index values approaching 107. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 74. Chance of an evening storm. Tomorrow, sunny and warm with a high near 94.
I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
Roll top.
Right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Let's go to Bubba. Bubba, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
What's going on, my friend?
We're having a great day. I hope you are as well, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm fixing to I got some parts for my vacuum cleaner came in the mail today. I'm fixing to put them on here in a little bit.
Were you not talking about a vacuum cleaner about a week ago or so?
Yeah, it was, and I needed some parts. So
this must be a complicated vacuum cleaner because I thought they were disposable.
Actually, it's really not. It just, I had to get a new brushing system and a new belt. Kept on burning the belts and just causes a bad brush, so they had to send me a new brush and new belt. So I just got to put.
So, but this is not. This must be an expensive vacuum cleaner, right?
No, I probably got less than $175 in it.
Okay.
But it's under warranty, so.
Okay. So they sent it to you. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brian, I didn't get the call yesterday, and I was so mad about this boxing situation in Paris, France. It's disgusting for these athletes that deserve a chance to win a medal, come to go against somebody that thinks they're a girl. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting.
Well, Bubba, you and I might have had a chance to be a college athlete if we could have done that.
Yes, and it starts with the parents of these things. It starts with not bringing them up right and addressing a problem. If they have a problem, get them the help they need to do it. I think it falls on the parents and put them in a Christian environment, and none of this will ever happen.
Free for All Friday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. No, I watched it, and I'm sitting there going, how can you take an enjoyment into that? Like from a consumer standpoint, from a athletic standpoint, if you're the athlete that wants to go boxing, women's boxing, where is the, hey man, I want to show you this gold medal that I won. How'd you win it? Well, I signed up as a female and just decided to go out and box in the Olympics. I mean, I know it's not that easy, but it.
Another one got in the ring today, and another forfeit. Somebody had to forfeit because they didn't want to get their brains.
Here's what you do, Bubba. Just shut it down. I know it would be a major sacrifice for the athletes, but if the TV would put pressure on some of these athletic sanctions from a legislative standpoint, then a lot of this stuff would go away.
Absolutely.
Just not participate.
It just infuriated me when I watched this. And I didn't know it happened until I listened to y'all yesterday, and I went back and saw it.
It's all over. I mean, it's social networks is covered up with it, and
makes me sick.
Yeah, and I saw the girl that was the one that got boxed. I think that they put her on a stretcher and carried her out. So
not fair.
I'm sure the Olympics. Well, and you really wonder from a liability standpoint if there could be some future litigation. Like if you're an attorney and you're representing this particular individual, I mean, can we not hold somebody else accountable?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It should be.
I mean, I know there's waivers and all this, but I mean, you got a dude pretending to be a female. I mean, is this? But we have some political parties in this country that doesn't know how to define a male and a female.
And I thought Tuberville hit it right on the nail the other day. He blew it right apart.
Well, and he told us on the air that he could not get any help. He's proposed several Title IX, legislative proposals, and he can't even get any help from the folks for the left. But remember now, if you ask them, they're going to tell you that they're all for women and women rights. And are they? The action doesn't really back up that statement.
Putting a transistor, a man claiming he's a female, that's not standing up for women's rights right there. In my opinion, it's not. But they didn't ask me. So, I think it all starts, I all need to go to church. Maybe they'll find Jesus.
That's one way to fix it. Bubba, I appreciate you, man. Roll Tide.
Well, one more thing. I'm convinced now that Digger and AC from Bangladesh are first cousins. I actually believe that.
So you think AC and Digger? I still think that Digger brought AC to us. I think he brought AC to us to make us appreciate him for not being at the bottom.
Absolutely. Roll Tide, Ryan.
Hey, thank you so much. We're going to talk about the transfer portal defensive back. Robert in Mobile, get ready. We're coming your way in a couple of minutes. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230, WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
Leon Marchand again stealing the show at the Paris Olympics. The Frenchman grabbing his 4th gold of the Games, winning the men's 200-meter individual medley today, setting an Olympic record in doing so. Men's basketball, Germany closing out France. Final score 85-71. Both countries, though, ending up moving on to the quarterfinals. Canada beats Spain today, 88-85. Canadians are on to the quarters. Spain is not. They are done for these Olympics. In men's tennis, Spain's Carlos Alcaraz will face Serbia's Novak Djokovic in the gold medal match. While in golf, Xander Schauffele, Hideki Matsuyama, and Tommy Fleetwood share the lead after 2 rounds of play at 11 under par. American star Sha'Carri Richardson was on the track today. She won her opening round heat of the women's 100 meters.
Well, thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper Heavy Duty Dry Cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
I got spirit, I got faith. I might bend, but I won't break. I'll fight the elements. And I'ma go down swinging. If I go down, I'ma go down swinging. If I go down, I'ma go down swinging. If I go down, I'ma go down swinging. If I go down. This ain't our home. Nah, not even close. They camouflage like we fighting some ghosts.
All right, let's continue with more phone calls. We are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Scotland Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. Let's continue, and we go here to Robert in Mobile. Robert, good afternoon, my friend. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, okay, I'm confused.
Okay.
So was it Biscuit Bruce giving us the biology lesson?
No, that was Bubba in Northport. So,
who said the XY chromosome?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Blueberry Steve. Blueberry Steve in Montreal. Yeah. Yeah.
So he says if you're XY, you're male, and if you're XX, you're female. So he's insinuating there's a difference between men and women? Is that what he's trying to insinuate?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Oh, wow. Man,
this is really tough. You got to go back to like 2nd grade biology class. Do they even teach this anymore? I mean, is it? Maybe we can get some of our teachers to get involved. But
wow. So now I guess about listening, watch the news and listen to liberals, I thought that had been done away with.
Yeah, it's really it's a big challenge. It's really hard. It's really it's strange. So they they. Man, I was fixing to say something, but I better pull that one back just a little bit. But they do have a trouble with a lot of things. But it's like when I look and I remember my pastor told me, he said, Ryan, write down 10 things that you believe in, and that you believe in at your age, and that you will literally take to your grave. These are the 10 things that I believe. And it could be your moral compass. When I look at my friends from the other side, it's any way the wind blows. One day they're for this, one day they're for this. And it just kind of changes. The goalpost moves all the different times. So they are.
Well, you got a Supreme Court justice, too, who was asked that question, was a woman, and he had a tough time with it.
It is no doubt a challenging question, Robert. Most of us struggle with it. Not really, but
it's kind of amazing, though. 10, 15 years ago, nobody struggled with it, and now, but I figure, they just changed biology on the dime. Biology is not real science apparently, it's science, but it's science that can just be changed by people's attitudes versus empirical study and data and facts and evidence. It's just how you feel. That changes the science. Which, okay, yeah, that's the science of the left, I guess. Like what he was alluding to, that was the total travesty, what's happening to it. It's happened again. Another woman lost a boxing match to a confused man. So there are two of them just beating up on women in the Olympics, the woke Olympics right now. And it's just a travesty. What's the point of those women, those real women, training all their lives, and doing the best that they can just to have someone with it's no different than someone taking steroids and beating them up. It's just that the steroids are natural in this case. It's a natural thing in this case.
Well, and think about this, okay? And you say, well, hold on, you don't have any proof of that. 2 female boxers who were disqualified from the 2023 World Championship after being judged to have failed gender eligibility tests were cleared to fight in the Olympics. So these were 2 athletes that were banned in the World Championship, and now the IOC said it stands by the athletes and their eligibility can compete. So bust them in a courtroom. That's all you can do.
That's the opening ceremony of the Olympics. I haven't watched any of it. I've been disgusted. This Olympics this year is just disgusting, and I'm not watching it. What they've done to it, it's not worth watching anymore. One of the main things we used to enjoy, but I guess the left is not happy unless they take away everything that we enjoy. So that's another one you got from me. Okay, I haven't watched 1 minute of the Olympics, even before this incident with these confused men beating up on women started. The opening ceremony turned me off, so I was done after that. But it's just, biology is a real thing, and these women are finding out the hard way that it is. Literally the hard way. You got a woman on the floor crying because she couldn't stay in a
and I know that it's turned into a political conversation, Robert.
It shouldn't be.
Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But you do think about it from a human side of standpoint. This particular athlete has probably busted her entire butt to be able to get to this spot, to be able to work your way, only to be robbed of this opportunity because you got a dude out here pretending to be a female.
And all of them are being robbed. What's next? Gymnastics? Why don't you go that route? Volleyball? There's another one. This is again. We all saw this coming. It's only leftists without common sense.
Well, but Robert, okay, do you have a daughter, Robert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what would you do as a parent?
Well, then that's another thing. It's a great point you bring up. This can be stopped, but it's not going to be stopped by men. This will be stopped by women refusing to be abused like this. That's all they have to do. They all get together, but it's such a shame they've been so conditioned to believe that they should take this abuse. Just all of them say, hey, we're not going to compete. We know that's a man, and we don't care what you say. We know that's a man. He has an unfair advantage. We're not competing. This stops overnight. Women have the ultimate power in this. I've heard a lot of men talk about it, but we also don't have the power in it. They have the power easily. All those high school, those college girls who have been beat up by that other confused guy in swimming refuse to go into the locker room with them. They're so afraid of social media labeling them something that it's just ridiculous. Social media is a blight on this world. TikTok is a communist plot to destroy America. And social media has just been a total blight on America. They got these kids afraid of telling of what they obviously see. They're telling you what's right in front of you is obviously wrong. Go back to politics for a second. They're trying to convince us that President Trump wasn't shot. That's how ridiculous it's got. That it's just, and these girls can easily stop this if just a decent number of them, not to be all of them, but a significant number of them say, I refuse to compete because this is not fair.
then it stops overnight.
I even saw Dan Woken, which I don't agree with many things he writes in USA Today. He looks like he's opposed to this as well, and that's saying a lot. So we have, and maybe this is from a wake up. You have an option to your country to be like that, or you can, continue to maybe live in the real world. Some of us choose to live in the real world. Some of us don't. Some of us believe that. It's kind of like when it's hot outside. It's global warming. No, it's just August.
Exactly.
It's just August. I mean, it's
going back to politics real quick, like you brought up Tuberville. I mean, there is a side, folks, and a political party, folks, that is supporting all this, folks, and the name starts with a demo, and ends with a crack. So. You want this to continue, then you keep voting for the name that starts with a demo and ends with a crack. And Kamala Harris is not going to be asked one word about all this.
Well, if our country has not woke up in the last 2.5, 3 years, I mean, we should have been woke several years ago. But if we're not, then maybe we're on a path of destruction. I mean, we could be. It looks like we're on at a pretty rapid pace. So disappointing to see, Robert.
One more thing before I go. I hate to get really political with it, but the Trump bringing up Kamala Harris's race or the ambiguousness of it is important. She's going around presenting herself as something she is not. Imagine if Vivek Ramaswamy went around calling himself black. You think he would have gotten away with that for very long? People would be calling him an idiot and shaming him for it. She was the one presenting herself as Indian up until it became convenient for her to become black. That's why it's an issue, and it goes up to how truthful she is. You lied to us about Biden's condition when you say he was good and he really wasn't. Now you're lying to us about this. She's fake, and this is being pointed out. And let's go wait for President Trump to point it out. Hey, this just adds more to her not being genuine. She's a fake. She is not black, maybe 1/10 black at the most, but she never presented herself as that until it became convenient for her. So that is a good point that Trump's bringing up. All right, I've done enough.
Thanks. Robert Mobile, appreciate you, man. 205-342-9904. AC, Bangladesh. AC, good afternoon. You're in the game. Free for all Friday.
Hey, man.
I'm so happy to be able to talk with you. I'm hoping you're having a great day, too.
Wow, what a nice sarcasm. Just to start off, I'm having it every day. Let me tell you something, Mr. Fowler. If God wakes me up every day with God's grace, I can handle anything. You ever heard anyone say that before, or am I the first one to tell you?
Oh, no, you're the first. Yeah.
That's right. With God's grace, if God wakes me up every day, I get to serve my Lord every day, I can handle anything. Wife problem, mother problem, station problem, haters, I can handle it all. Because I got it all, Mr. Fowler. Let me ask you a question. How is Mr. Producer doing? How you feeling, man?
Simon, are you good? Simon's good. Simon, answer AC's question. Are you good, Simon?
Yeah, I'm great.
I mean, he's great, man. Wyatt,
I got to get back to school.
He's got to get back to school.
I got to get back to school in a couple of days.
Yeah, when does school start back, AC?
The 7th.
I mean, Simon, on the 7th? Oh, okay, so next Wednesday, you're back. AC, when do you start back to school?
I graduated a long time ago. I don't need school. School wasn't for me, but I just had to, what is it? I cannot. There's certain words I cannot use, but just stick it out. Just stick it out. Suffer, and then you're going to become a champion. Something like that Muhammad Ali said. Suffer now, and you're going to be a champion. That's something like that he said.
Well, speaking of boxing, I mean, we're on this topic today. You have any opinions about a dude?
I like Muhammad Ali. I like Muhammad Ali.
Well, and we like Deontay Wilder.
I heard that name, but I don't know much about him. But MMA, I like, what's his name? Khabib Nurmagomedov. Good grief. At least I got that last name correct, because I used to struggle with it. But, I mean, it's good. But let me, how's your family doing, Mr. Fowler, before I start talking about people attacking my man, Bam and Nick for some reason. So how's your family doing, Mr. Fowler?
Oh, I'm good. We're all good. We're all good, man. It's
Good.
yeah. I mean, it's a busy time of the year.
Absolutely.
I
Watching your
checked my
diet and
lottery
exercising,
tickets last night that I didn't buy, and I had
It's
to
a
come
waste
in.
of time, man.
Yeah,
I don't know
I had
how
to
you
come into
think about
work. I had to come into work because
Lottery is just a waste of time, man. I don't know why people bother with it. But either way, I'm being dead serious. I'm starting to like Bam and Nick. He's standing up for himself. That's what I want to see. He passed the test. And then you have Tommy and Romulus.
Right.
For some reason, he doesn't list. Yes.
So, AC, now I want you to come clean on a Free for All Friday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. Okay.
Okay.
Who invited you to this
show?
show?
A while ago. Who invited? That's a good question. It's a mystery because I got to protect that person's privacy. It's not. I told you last week. I don't know why.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Did Digger put you on this show?
It's a mystery. I cannot reveal the name. I know
Did
what you're
Bama
doing.
Nick
I'm not
put you on this show?
I addressed that last week. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Bama Nick mentioned the show's name, but he did not send me the formal invitation. There's someone out there, and that person is your regular caller, and that person is listening, and I am a little disappointed with that person because that person has disrespected me, and if this person continues to disrespect me, I'm going to reveal that name. So you better be careful because the pressure is on you, not on me, because what pressure do I have?
Did Ellis invite you?
You're giving me all the names. You're like a lawyer. You cannot make me open my mouth, man.
Can you give us at least a little hint? Does he call in every day?
I told you you're one of your regular callers, so go track that down. I mean, there's an investigation underway, right? I mean, Bama Nick is going to do his investigation. I have a feeling he's going to find it. He's very smart, man. He's going to find it. But here's the thing, Tommy and Romulus attacking this man. I addressed that already. Why are you attacking people from the other show? If we bring out the dogs, we're going to start biting in this station that there's nothing he can do about it. Bama Nick he made a good point. He wants to invite more people. He wants the show to be entertaining. That's the same model. Now, Bama Nick doesn't have to like me. I don't have to like him too, but we want the show to be entertaining as long as nobody using foul languages. Am I correct or not, Mr. Fowler? You want entertainment. Let me tell you.
We want entertainment, but we don't want foul language. Yeah.
That's right. You and I were in the same page. Let me tell you what's going to happen if there's entertainment. That means you're going to have more listeners. You're going to have more callers. That means you're going to have some AC haters. You know what that means, right? To your wallet. It helps your wallet. So your boss is going to say, Fowler, I'm going to give you a raise. Maybe you guys could be on TV. When was the last time you guys been on TV, Mr. Fowler? Nobody knows. You want to be on TV, right? You want to be on the same level of Stephen A. Smith, right? That's what you want to be. But you're not there yet. We can help you. But we have a missing puzzle. We can solve it. That's Jim from Tuscaloosa. You need him. Jim and I, we don't have to like each other, but we can work on this show to make it better than it should be. I mean, that helps your wallet, right, Mr. Fowler?
Yeah. I actually get paid on people that call in. We get $1 every time somebody calls in.
Oh, yeah. Did you say dollar? It's going to be $5 gazillion. So we can make that happen, too. But the thing is, it's going to come costly for the person who's writing checks, because Jim, then whoever Bama Nick invites, we got to get some dollars, too. And me, it has to be cash. I don't want to report it to the government. I'm a businessman. I'm trying to help you. I'm a little confused here. So Bama Nick gave up his title #1 caller a month ago. Now he's taking it back. What is going on here? Is he the #1 caller, or we have two #1 callers?
No, he is. Yeah, he's the #1, and it's kind of like Alabama. Everybody's playing for second place, man.
That's right. But the thing is, I don't want Bama Nick to be the #1 caller. Let me tell you why. I want him to be the hungry caller. I want him to be starving. I want him to have it. When you're #1, you're too comfortable. Did I ever brag myself I'm the best caller? I never do. Because I'm hungry. I'm motivated.
In your own mind, do you think that you're the best caller?
I never do. Because let me tell you something. I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm just another caller. I call in. People hate me. People like me. It's okay. It's completely okay. People, they don't like Floyd Mayweather, but this man knows business. Nobody says the more haters you have, you're gonna have people remembering you. That's what I realized. Kobe Bryant, well, haters, they would hate you, but everybody knows who Kobe Bryant is. God bless his soul. Everybody hates Donald Trump, but he's a great businessman. Am I right or wrong, Mr. Fowler?
He was a brilliant businessman. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Even our former president was a great man. He has a great mind, but with great mind, he needs supporting cast, right?
So are you a big Trump guy, AC?
As long as it helps my wallet, I would like whoever it is. I mean, I'm not a pro-Trump, but the only thing I can tell you, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we did a little bit better than what we are doing right now. Am I right? There's a big difference, right?
I'm a little bit confused. I mean,
how are you confused?
Say it again. What? Repeat the last question.
About 6, 7 years ago, we did financially. The world did much better compared to what we are doing today.
Yes.
Financially.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
The unemployment is up. Prices are up. We're making less money than what we did. It costs more to live. Yeah, I would say we're probably better off 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah.
But the problem is the president is like a scapegoat. It's just the bigger companies. They're bringing the countries down. It's the government. For some reason, presidents, they take the blame. But if you think about it, the bigger companies, they are the ones who's pushing those buttons. I know they're not liking what I'm saying because they don't want the truth. Probably they hate me right now, and I don't care. I really don't care. That's what they do, Mr. Fowler. So I don't know why president have to be the scapegoat with everything. I'm sure they have their blames, but they should not get 100% blame. You have people who's pushing those buttons, and the presidents, they have no other choice but to follow. That's how it works, man. That's everywhere. Not just America, it's everywhere. Let me tell you something before I hang up. You ready for this?
Okay, yeah, we got to get to break too. I mean, I've
given
you a lot of time today, AC. Are you appreciative of this?
Well, of course I am. I'm not going to buy any time like that money. But this is what I'm going to say. I don't think no one has ever told you, but maybe I'll be the first one. The world itself is beautiful. It's the corruption, the government who's bringing the countries down. Write it down, stamp it, circle it. Probably AC was the first person to tell you. Love you, bro. Holla.
Thank you, man. AC. AC, helping us out. We're going to get over to Jackson, Georgia, coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll get to JR out in Coker. Tommy and Romulus, I see you. We're going to work our way to you. Kane Womack Audio coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll take your phone calls right here on the game. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
This hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
An already successful businessman is weeks away from opening Southern Ale House Dockside, the first ever restaurant on Lake Tuscaloosa. 2 Pickens County men will each spend 20 years in prison after they pleaded guilty last month in 2 separate cases involving the sexual abuse of children. And severe storms are possible this afternoon and evening in the northern half of our listening area, including in Tuscaloosa County. For the details on all these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, TGI up to you. We're looking at pretty basic travels around the area right now. If you're traveling on McFarland Boulevard on the eastbound lanes to Lurleen Wallace, you will find a bit of a slow up. That's going to take you back to Main Avenue. And we're also looking at some pretty...
And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Nuke's Eatery, they're on the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama, close enough that you can smell the championships. The Nuke's Q sandwich, still the #1 sandwich across the franchise. The French dip sandwich, I think, is going to challenge for that #1 spot. The double club, the single club, you can pair those up with a great sandwich, salad, California-style pizzas, all available for catering from a group of 5 to 500, a small office party to a large corporate event. Joel Bromfield, they've done a great job for my family. They'll do a great job.
The Druid City Brewing Company on Saturday, August 24th. Doors open up at 3 p.m. Tickets are $10 with proceeds benefiting the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter. Learn more at ashfest.org.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
For this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures peaking around 97 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely as the front moves through. You'll see the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts due to that strong heating and unstable air. The heat advisory remains in effect until 9 p.m. Those heat index values approaching 107. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 74. Chance of an evening storm. Tomorrow, sunny and warm with a high near 94.
I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
It's the longest running sports show in Tuscaloosa. You're listening to the Game.
Put this out there. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Lamar and Pickens County until 5:15 this afternoon. Also, now I don't know, maybe somebody else can confirm this, but I was checking because I have one of these little weather radios that you get alert system. I think that system, at least it was at my house when I left about noon. It may be back up. They were working on that, so maybe a great way to get the communication is here via Tide 100.9. And, if anything impacts our area, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning, we'll make sure that we keep you up to date. So we are monitoring that. If anything severe, we have a partnership with not only our weather team, but also James Spann. So we'll kick it over to there. If anything, not expecting anything, but I know the National Weather Service, I contacted them on behalf of being a good citizen and sent them an email and said, hey, guys, your weather system's down. It's been down for a few days. So 162, frequency 162-400 has been down. So we have notified them of that. But, hey, we'll try to make up the gap where the government is their system is a little bit down. So let's go to Todd over in Jackson, Georgia. Todd, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is well, Ryan. Thank you for taking my call, man. I just got one very important question. Who does AC Bangla dip blank? I'll go ahead and bleep myself out.
Thanks.
Have hostage in your family to where we continue to have to listen to that. It's like watching paint dry, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you, Todd. I really do. In my radio philosophy, I believe that everybody should have a voice, regardless if I agree with you or disagree. And 99% of the crap that AC throws out here, I disagree with. We try to find common ground, but it's a challenge. I've always been one of those guys that believes everybody has a chance to have an opinion, right or wrong, dumb or smart. AC has testing, and I'll tell you another one that tests me is our friend from Louisiana, Digger. Yeah, he's got me. He's got me as well. So he's making me bring up and break some of my own philosophical opinion on sports talk radio.
Right. Well,
I mean, what do you think, Todd? You think I should just start cutting him off or leave him on hold or something?
No, you know what? It's the Christian thing to do, to give everybody a voice. But I tip my hat to you for your patience, because you are a way better man than I could be in that area, because I would lose it, man.
And most of the time I get up and just go to the bathroom and let him talk, and then I come back. So I don't hear most of what he says, and that's probably a good thing. So maybe that's my fault.
So shift gears here just for a minute. I listened to a commentary, not a commentary, but an interview. I believe it was Christian Miller and Mr. Milroe. And I'm going to tell you what, I became a Milroe fan a year before last at his, start over in Tuscaloosa. I sit right in front of where Milroe warms up, and I was like, who's that kid, man? And my son Zach said, that's the quarterback. I'm like, no way. Look how big he is.
Yeah, well,
so I became a fan.
You being from Georgia, you'll like this. I always say that Jalen Milroe is carved out of Stone Mountain granite, because I would love to know, what do you think? 4%, 5%, 6% body fat? It's not much. I mean, he looks
Dude.
like he's carved out of Stone Mountain granite. It really does.
So I didn't become his fan just by looking at him and watching him warm up, but I became his fan when I seen him run all over that field. Yeah, we won the game, but everybody's just dogging him out. I was like, man, let's give this kid a chance. But I became his biggest fan then, and then even more so now, just the other day when I listened to Miller's interview with him and Milroe, and just how intelligent, eloquent, I can't even say the word, eloquently his speech, his answers to the questions. He didn't dodge any. He hit them head on, and just so much professionalism out of that young man. I'm even more so a fan of him, not for just, who he is and what he's going to do for the University of Alabama, but man, shoot, that boy's got that young man, he's got a bright future in front of him, Ryan.
I love his personality. I mean, I love the way that he brings energy, the way that he, whether it's just saying Roll Tide. We had him on out in Dallas, and I mean, he's got this Roll Tide. It may be the best we've ever heard, right? I mean, it's a pure Roll Tide. He believes it, but just his energy, it's contagious, right? I mean, could you imagine in that locker room how he's got people to follow him?
I get goosebumps on my arms just thinking about it, Ryan.
Well, and not just here this year, but think about the future of being an ambassador for the University of Alabama. I've covered a lot of quarterbacks, and me and some of the media, my media colleagues have talked about this. Oh, this is probably going to get me in trouble, Todd. Oh, this is probably going to get me in trouble. But I'm going to say it anyway because I'm real good friends with A.J. McCarron. A.J. and I talk probably once a week via text message. And I've covered a lot of quarterbacks. John Parker Wilson in 2008. I mean, even going back to that, Brody and those guys that came through that system. Brody and Andrew Zhao and Tyler Watts. John Parker, Greg, A.J. McCarron won 2 national titles, actually 3 national titles, 1 as a backup, 2 as a starter. Then working our way to Blake Sims. Jacob Coker in 2015 won a national title. I've done some hunting with Jacob Coker before. He's been to our hunting place a couple of different times, and always enjoy interacting with him. 2016, Jalen Hurts. Probably didn't have the connection with him that maybe some of the others may have had. Tua Tagovailoa, and then leading right into Mac Jones and Bryce Young. I can't think of anybody that's better with the media than Jalen Milroe. The quarterback, wears a different hat. He's brilliant when you talk with him. And I'll never forget this, Todd. I know I'm really way off the tracks. I was out in Pasadena, and I went to the post-game press availability. I did not go into the locker room because I knew it would be a disaster as far as just sadness and, getting your butt kicked the way that we did against Michigan. Jalen Milroe explained what happened better than Nick Saban did.
Wow.
So he'll face it in circumstances. It's fun to cover an individual like that. That'll give you a lot of content. But go back and listen to the post game. Nobody even probably saw it because nobody really cared.
Right.
We watched the game, but he handled it better than Nick Saban. I mean, Nick Saban was almost like speechless up there. like Jalen was trying to help him out a little bit. He's like, "Hey, this is the way you describe it. You want to know what went wrong? We stunk it up. We did."
Yeah. Well, September 28th is marked on the calendar, and I've got my tickets secured. So we're coming to Tuscaloosa. We want to see Alabama put it on Georgia. And man, I've got it pegged on the calendar. I don't want to fast forward this football season by no means because it's 30 days from now.
29. One Minkah Fitzpatrick away from Alabama Crimson Tide football.
And we blink our eyes and the season's gone, man. So it's kind of like cherishing the moment. And new coach, new system. Everybody's question marks that everybody has, and some of them are rightfully so. But I just can't wait till that first snap. And usually whenever you have that much anticipation, it just goes by. So it's like the Lord says, the life is but a vapor, man.
Well, I'm glad you called in, and listen, we need you on those front lines. I feel like we're pretty good over in our market. Across the state over there in Georgia. I mean, we get a lot of phone calls, a lot of listeners from Georgia, but we need you guys on that front lines, and be careful. I hear the roads are pretty dangerous over in the state of Georgia. Watch out for them dogs, man.
And I'm bringing a Georgia Bulldog fan with me.
Well, Todd, if you don't mind, you do the driving, okay? Don't let him do the driving.
I will.
Yeah. Don't
worry.
I
will.
Them dogs they're having issues behind the wheel, man. Man, God. I mean, they're not trying to be a joke out of it. It's kind of serious. I said this earlier to Brent Beard. I had an older brother and I had a younger brother, and if they did something wrong that I saw my parents correct, it was a little lesson for me not to do the same thing. And I'm sure I probably provided many opportunities for them to learn from my mistakes. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes. Seems like Georgia just continues, just a cycle. And I think we have let Kirby Smart off a little light.
Absolutely.
We talked about Aaron Torres with us earlier this week. We also talked with Brent Beard about this, but we've almost given him a little free pass. So,
yeah. Thanks again for taking my call, Ryan, and roll tide, my friend.
Roll tide. Thank you, Jackson, Georgia. Hey, let's go to Kane Womack talking about Deshaun Jones, because the transfer from Wake Forest is trying to fill in nicely, but he's kind of getting blocked here by a freshman, Xavier Brown, really getting a lot of attention. But let's not forget about it. Let's go back to Kane Womack talking about Deshaun Jones here on the campus of the University of Alabama yesterday.
Playing cornerback. Yeah, I think, again, we talk about how experience is finite, right? So if you can find it somewhere, right, it obviously is great to have on your roster. I think Day-Day's doing a really great job. He has really changed his body. You think about seniors and guys that, that are maybe a little further down in their career, they may not be able to push quite as far as the development of a freshman, but I thought he's made tremendous strides in 8 weeks in terms of changing the makeup of his body. I think he's playing very fast right now. He seems to be playing with confidence in the first couple of days. Again, time will tell, right, of those guys that have not played, in the SEC the last couple of years across the board, whether they can handle those things. But I think they are taking steps in the right direction against what I would argue some very good skill players on our offensive side right now.
Yeah, and I actually asked yesterday Mo Linguist about some of that as well, because I looked and I said, all right, how does this help you? Because we've got some growing pains, but I'd rather be exposed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, fall camp, rather than getting to the season. So I think this is a really good test to allow this defense to grow up right here in front of our eyes. I think this offense is going to be so balanced. They're going to test you in a lot of different ways, good on good, especially when those pads come clicking on Sunday morning. We think it's Sunday morning. We'll see more about that. We'll continue with more of your phone calls. We'll get to those. Let's go to JR in Coker. Tommy and Rami is coming up in just a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets in downtown Tuscaloosa, 1010 Queen City Avenue. For over 60 years, they've been serving our community. They specialize in a large inventory of fresh flowers, weddings, gourmet fruit baskets. If you're trying to lift someone's spirits, it is Pat's Florist Gourmet Baskets by calling 205-345-5093. Delivery options are available, but it's more than just flowers at Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets, 1010 Queen City Avenue.
Clean. Don't forget my bag. Nice. Febreze fabric spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
With only 43 seconds remaining, facing a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line at Jordan-Hare Stadium, quarterback Jalen Milroe finds himself under immense pressure, scrambling to connect with Isaiah Bond in the corner of the end zone for a miraculous come-from-behind victory over Auburn. The jaw-dropping 27-24 result came on the 10th anniversary of the Kick Six. Daniel Moore is proud to announce 4th and 31. His upcoming oil painting featuring the now famous Gravedigger play. New Life Art is now accepting pre-orders for limited edition fine art prints and canvases of 4th and 31. See the preliminary pencil sketch for the artist's full color painting at danielmooreart.com. Pre-order your artwork.
Sign up for rewards to earn free food. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Points earned on qualifying purchases.
With a C. Oh, I need a good time. I've been working all weekend. I'm tired of knowing
wanna sleep and I wanna have
We're
fun.
welcoming you right back into the game. We're getting to JR in Coker, Alabama. JR, I hope you're feeling a little better. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa. Okay. No JR. No JR. Let's go to Tommy and Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is well. How are you, Ron?
Good. I'm having a free-for-all Friday presented by Brian Hard Constructions. Always a good thing.
Sure it is. It's a great day. Friday's always a great day.
Friday's always a good day. We stretch our legs a little bit and got a big weekend ahead of us, which is okay. About ready for a vacation. I hope, I see T-Tail and Tony up here on the screen. So
wow.
I
guess I never picked on Tony, but I guess since I'm a bully, I'm glad Tony has shown back up. I was worried about him, him campaigning for Kamala and all that.
I want to ask him what the crowds are like out there because he was having to. He was doing that. He was getting paid to do that, which is, I think he's trying to recruit Bama Nick to join him.
Well, I mean, yeah, Georgia is one of those toss-up states. Yeah. I think Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana are pretty safe, but Georgia, one of them little toss-up states you got to worry about.
Yeah, so we need Georgia on the front lines more than just being an Alabama fan, huh?
Yeah. Big time. About the Olympic thing, it's just disgraceful. And 4 years from now, it'll probably be worse if we even have the Olympics by then because we'll probably be killing each other. The other person, kilometer, get in. I call it kilometer because she don't know a kilometer from a centimeter. So, I mean, she just laughing all the time. But it just... it's really disgusting when the Israeli play a soccer game and people pull out Palestinian flag and yell, "Say how." The Olympic is supposed to be religious and political free. That lie is over with. It's the most political thing I have ever seen in my life. So that's my rant. I will not apologize for being a bully. I didn't know I was such a bully. AC, you think I'm a bully. Wow. Oh, well. Next time you talk to the wonderful caller from Bangladesh, ask him why did he get kicked off of Feinbaum show, or why did Paul Feinbaum hang up on him yesterday. My brother was telling me about that. He was watching the women game, basketball. He was flipping around. I said, well, there's AC. And listened to him. And he was getting something. And Feinbaum got mad at him. Feinbaum said,
I thought Paul had retired. Did he retire?
Well, how I hit, because all these guys want to come to your show and ruin it. I mean, I think Feinbaum might be getting mean now.
Oh, he is?
Might give him a set, a pair.
I've always been intrigued for the last 10 years how he covers Alabama from Columbia, but or wherever it is, Charlotte.
Charlotte, whatever.
That's a tough task.
Well, it's a good state because it's not in the SEC. That don't make no sense to me, but we won't discuss that. But now ask him why Feinbaum blasted him, saying you have insulted a lot of female callers, and you have insulted 2 or 3 of my kids that call from the age of 11 to 14. And Feinbaum hung up on him.
Well, maybe Paul is much smarter than I am, because I've hung up on him a couple times. But
well, he gets on this thing and
on Free for All Friday, for the type of format that we do on Friday, it's kind of hard.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I'm a bully for picking on Nick. Mm-hmm. He must not have been listening to the show for the last 2 years, because I got in trouble because you was off and I won a bet. I called that show. I won my bet. And that went all heck broke loose. Because Nick came to you the next day screaming like a little 14-year-old girl who'd been rejected for the prom, crying, well, oh, Tommy, come to find my son. I'm a grown man. I call who I want to, Nick. And he brags about how great he is, how everybody respects him. Boy, crap. And the same thing with AC. I don't want this bomb crap. They can call or bring something. Don't belittle callers that have been calling the show for years and brought good contacts to the show. I mean, I'm sorry. If that's a bully, well, then I'm proud to be your bully.
Well, you are a bully, Tommy.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you're always trying to force us to talk about things we don't want to talk about.
That's right. Yeah.
Wanting to cover some softball recruiting.
I know. It's just Alabama's so wonderful. You know, they have so many wonderful things here in Tuscaloosa. Everybody should be proud of everything.
They should give you softball tickets. They shouldn't charge you for those.
Well, they're like everybody else. They got to make money. I mean.
Now,
Well,
I know you're a cheap guy because you like a $1 taco and a glass of water.
That's right. Yeah, I get 4 tacos, drink water, and I make the twins tip the waitress, teach them a value of $1. And stay away with boys with shining teeth and brand new cars. I'm teaching them valuable lessons.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm cheap. So what? What else should we talk about? You looking forward to swinging it again tomorrow? I mean,
Oh, yeah. Which tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm looking for volunteers.
Yeah. What kind of volunteers?
Well, somebody that'll drive me by the football building, drop me off, and then come back and get me.
Well.
Because you know what tomorrow is?
What's tomorrow?
It's also graduation.
Oh, Lord.
You know what time graduation starts?
Probably 9:30 or 10.
9 a.m. You know what time practice starts?
9 a.m.
Well, 9:05.
9:05.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell it looked crazy.
It's gonna be a parking
nightmare.
Yeah, and I haven't aired up my tires on my bicycle, but that might be an option. I could do that. I could ride down the hill at DCH. Maybe that would be an option. But
sure.
But somehow, some way, we're going to make it, and we've got coaches that will talk following practice. And it's Nick Sheridan. I'm sure Jalen Milroe will probably be one of those guys that walks out there. We haven't spoke to Milroe so far in the media availability, so I assume that the offensive side of the football, you got to start with the quarterback. Probably we'll hear from him, just like we did, Malachi Moore yesterday, and several other defensive players. It was just kind of hard to make a rotation. I made as much as I possibly could, but I'm sure Milroe will be one of those guys. Probably maybe a running back. Could be an offensive lineman. Might be able to hear from, a Tyler Booker. Could be there.
The center. Yeah, everybody.
Love to hear from Parker Brailsford. I don't know if we're going to do that. Trying to go in with an open mind, but you never know. Could be.
Well, you're going to have fun. You got to.
Are you volunteering to drop us off?
I'll drop you off. Name and time and place.
Okay.
I'm serious. You want me to drop you off? I'll be more happy.
And then come back and get us?
Well, you give me a time.
Okay.
I picked up your neighbor one time when he came back from Central America on a bird watching thing. If I can do that, I sure can pick you up from football practice. You can tell me all the latest or what you're not supposed to tell me, and I won't tell us so. Yeah.
You saying we can have an off-record topic? Is that
sure. Why not?
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, we'll get a campaign update coming up here in just a couple of minutes, man. I'm excited to hear this. I
am too. I miss Tony. I'm excited.
So you did miss him? He was missed?
Well, of course.
One of our top callers, absolutely. But I
don't miss other people.
I can't pay what George Soros pays.
Well, I know. You asked the question, how much will you stand behind Kamala, holding the side, supporting it? Yeah, I'll do it for several $1,000s if George won't give me the money. Yeah.
Would you go in your normal face, or would you have to have a makeup artist?
Oh, no, I'll go in my normal face. But the $64 million question to be is, he didn't ask me to vote for her. That's a whole different ballgame. I can be like these politicians. Oh, I have evolved, Ron, over the last 24 or 36 hours. I've had a new vision. I have been enlightened, Ron. I'll take the money and run. I'm a capitalist. Hey, they think he's only capitalist.
Mean.
That's right. I'm a greedy American. The ugly American, they used to say.
Gotcha. Tommy, be good to yourself, man. Have a great weekend.
I mean, y'all take care. Talk to you later.
Thank you. White, I think we could have had a ride right there. I think you and I could have, maybe, we're I'm thinking about, I'm trying to come up with a strategy because that one's going to be a little bit of because graduation is going to be packed. It's going to be packed. Wonder if Campus Ride, the bus system, is going to be running because that might be another option. We could park on the hill and ride the bus system, or we could park downtown and do an Uber. Never know. That might be an option.
We may just have to park there at 7 o'clock in the morning, run and grab something to eat, and then come back for practice.
Oh, so you're saying do the 7 and then the breakfast, beat everybody else because graduation does start at 9. So graduation.
May just have to get there, be ready to go, and then go grab something to eat.
Another moneymaker for the University of Alabama graduation. It's always a lot of boredom. Yeah. Sum cum laude, cum laude, sum laude.
That's where I'll be sitting come May, hopefully.
Are they gonna give all that cum laude stuff to you?
No, they just gonna read the degree, say my name, and I'm gonna be out of there.
Wyatt Fulton, cum laude, summa laude.
They're just gonna say Wyatt Fulton, master's degree, and then I'm out of there.
That's I went to graduation 15 years ago. Maybe, I guess. No, it's probably been longer than that. I watched my wife graduate with a PhD, and they actually force you to graduate, which is always because they do this pinning on ceremony. So that was the last one. Remember sitting there with her dad, and he goes, he looked at me, and I don't think he'd ever been to graduation at college, and he goes, what do they keep talking about? Cum laude, sum laude. He goes, what in the world are they talking about? It was probably about 2 hours in. He goes, why do they keep doing that? Well, I don't know either, man. I know it has something to do with GPA, and
I'm just happy I got the piece of paper.
Yeah. I was in that barely made it club. Yeah. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We are moving with a purpose pretty much on the roadways right now. Looking at nothing more than the normal patchy slow goes for around the area. So Skyland Boulevard, that's definitely one of them. And in both directions between Hargrove and McFarland Boulevard, you will find yourself frequently tapping on those brakes. And of course, the usual on McFarland. This time on the eastbound lanes to Lurleen Wallace, you've got some heavy slow goes. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Big Mike's downtown Moundville, only about 15 minutes from where I'm located. Also in Gunnersville, Alabama, Thomasville, Andalusia, Auburn, Alabama, Orange Beach. You'll find one of the best steaks in the state of Alabama, voted by the Alabama Cattlemen's Association and many other great publications recognizing the great ribeye, the seafood entrees. You'll find those, the great service. It is Big Mike's downtown Moundville. If you're looking for a great steak, Wednesday through Saturday, 4 until 10, Big Mike's, downtown Moundville.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
Leon Marchand won gold again for France, this time in the men's 200-meter individual medley in the pool in France. Fourth gold medal of these games, also set an Olympic record in the event. On the track, American star Sha'Carri Richardson won her opening round heat in the women's 100-meter. She advanced to Saturday's semifinal round. In tennis, Spain's Carlos Alcaraz will face Serbia's Novak Djokovic in the gold medal match. Both won today in the semifinals. In golf, after 2 rounds of play, Xander Schauffele of the U.S., Japan's Hideki Matsuyama, and Great Britain's Tommy Fleetwood all share the lead at 11 under par. Test on the knee and hip of Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith came back negative. He is not expected to miss much time. Panthers quarterback Andy Dalton out a few weeks because of a quad injury. Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs earned a 99 rating in the ratings for Madden 25 from EA Sports. Cubs dropped the Cardinals today in day baseball 6-3.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
For this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures peaking around 97 degrees. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely as the front moves through. You'll see the potential for some isolated damaging wind gusts due to that strong heating and unstable air. The heat advisory remains in effect until 9 p.m. Those heat index values approaching 107. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low near 74. Chance of an evening storm. Tomorrow, sunny and warm with a high near 94.
I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
The Paint Spot, Philip Williams, locally owned and operated since 1971. Quality paint, expert advice. Bigger, medium projects. I recommend renting the airless paint sprayer. Northport, right off McFarland Boulevard, right past Highway 43. 15th Street in Tuscaloosa, close to the Hardin's Bakery. 1971. Philip Williams, locally owned and operated. The Paint Spot, you'll find the quality paint, the expert advice. If you're redoing a...
Uncomfortable, no matter how high the mercury rises. Call Aux Home Services today at 205-979-0946 or visit auxhomeservices.com.
Northport Power Equipment, largest inventory Husqvarna dealer in the Southeast. You'll find the Husqvarna models for residential and the professional landscapers, Skag commercial mowers, residential mowers, backpack blowers, handheld blowers, battery-operated tools. The service department at Northport Power
gives you both. Many pre-owned and certified BMWs are waiting for you at BMW of Tuscaloosa, 3537 Skyland Boulevard East, or at bmwoftuscaloosa.com.
Blue Spring Living Water is located in Bluntsville, Alabama, Blount County, about an hour north of Birmingham. Blue Spring Living Water is harvested and bottled from a centuries-old natural spring on a private family farm. Blue Spring is an all-natural water source that flows just under 1 million gallons a day. They have partnered with Waterway of Alabama, and they've been in the water delivery business for over 30 years. To have Blue Spring Living Water delivered right to your home, right to your front door every month. New customers get their 5 jugs for $50, and the empties are exchanged every month for new ones. I know we have it at the Fowler household. We drink more water because of BlueSpringLivingWater.com. You can sign up at 205-602-3426. Talk to someone directly. Blue Spring Living Water can also be found Mark's Mark, downtown Northport, Publix, Piggly Wiggly, and in the southern part of our listing area, Rouse's Supermarket. BlueSpringLivingWater.com. Every Friday here on The Game is always powered by Brian Harden Construction, industrial contractors and fabrication, laser cutting, CNC machines, reverse engineering, experience you can count on. Let's build something together. BHardenConst.com, and we're looking for people to become a part of our winning team. Structural welders, pipe fitters, you'll find those at Brian Harden Construction. Let them guide you, and if they're not able to help you, they can guide you in the right direction. It's Brian Harden Construction every Friday, made possible by Brian Harden Construction here on The Game on Tide 100.9.
Rolling down a backwoods Tennessee byway, one arm on the wheel, holding my lover with the other, a sweet, soft southern thrill. Worked hard all week, got a little jingle on a Tennessee Saturday night. Couldn't feel better, I'm together with my Dixieland tonight. Spend my dollar.
Oh yeah, baby, this is probably Digger's least favorite segment of our show. It's one of our favorite segments of the show. We're going to take Tony coming up here in a couple of minutes. It's 18. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 national titles, 30 SEC titles. Oh, yeah. 147 first-team All-Americans, 45 postseason victories, 77 postseason appearances, the NCAA all-time scoring leader, 4 Heisman winners, and the greatest football coaches to ever walk the sidelines. We are talking a lot of Alabama Crimson Tide football. We'd love to get you into the program on a free-for-all Friday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you're building from the ground up, let's build something together. It's Brian Harden Construction. We are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, and T-Town Tony. Tony, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope you're doing well.
Namaste, Ryan. Namaste.
Yes.
I'll explain what namaste means later at the end of the call, but namaste, my friend.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, good. You're learning Spanish?
And my friends that are listening, and my friends that are listening, namaste. Ryan.
Buenos noches.
Taco Tuesday.
$1 and a glass of water, according to Tommy and Robbie.
Tommy Tuesday. They got Tommy Tuesday.
Where in the world?
Hold on. I know. Go ahead. Ask the question. That's perfect.
Where have you been, Tony?
I know there's a lot of rumors out there.
There are.
None completely true. Some true. Some not so true. But I'm going to tell you what I've been doing, Ryan.
Okay.
I've been multitasking. But one of the things I've been multitasking. But one of the things I've been working on is myself.
Okay.
Before the last quarter of this year, I got to get it. We all need to be doing this.
Okay.
We got to be getting it together, mind, body, and spirit.
Your yin and your yang. Okay.
That's right. Ryan, see, I've been trekking the paths only monks trek. I've been raising my vibration. I'm getting my mind right.
Raising your vibrations?
That's right. You got to raise your vibration.
Kind of. Okay.
Well, I'll break it down for you real quick.
Okay.
Every atom, right? Proton, neutron, electron.
Yeah.
Are they stagnant or are they moving?
Oh, yeah. They got to be positively charged. Yeah.
So if everything is moving, everything, and I mean everything, has a vibration. Low vibrations are for dead things, plastic things, evil things.
Or voters.
High vibrations are for peace, calm, love.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been working on that, dude. And let me tell you, I've been going through a lot. I'm getting it ready. As you know, I've been dealing with an injury. It's time for that thing to heal. I'm over it. And we've got football in November 5th about to start.
95 days away.
Well, 30 days or what, 29? What's today?
29 days, one Minka Fitzpatrick away, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union.
From just probably the most fun and most crucial and whatever period maybe in our lifetime. So I've been working on that. I've been trying to strengthen my chi while releasing my toxins, watching what I eat. This includes acupuncture, meditation, and the repeating of lots of mantras.
Man.
Namaste, Ron. I'm a new guy, am I not?
You sound like a new guy. I mean,
I am. My mantras are focused on forgiveness. They're just prayers. That's what a mantra is. Forgiveness. It's me and God talking. Forgiveness, protection, direction, and abundance. Abundance.
Sounds like you've become a poet too.
Okay, look at this. It's going on for 3 weeks. I've been doing this. Okay, getting back to it. I've done this before. You know all this. I did this a decade ago. I'm back to it, coming in already abundant. TJ's trying to pay me more money in the NIL deal,
He is.
and I just refuse to accept all of it. I'm not going to accept all of it, TJ.
Okay, but true or false? Have you been tampered with by other programs to try to convince you to call into their show?
No.
Okay, so
Well, no. Hold on.
So the portal was
Yes.
never an option.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. No. Yes. Several.
Oh, okay.
But no from my representation.
Okay.
So I just want to make that clear out there. There's been no tampering of any type.
Okay. Good. Okay.
I'm all yours, baby.
Okay. Good. And
I'm all yours,
I mean,
baby.
you've missed some things while you've been gone.
I've missed it all. We're going to have to probably, I mean, if we've got time, we can, but
We have a
probably
new
need to
caller.
talk about one of the, who's the new caller?
Calling in from Trump's mansion. It's Democracy Dan.
I like him. Well, I like the that part of it, because the democracy is what we got to be fighting for, and that's what this election's all about. And we've got to fight for our democracy.
Yeah.
Wyatt, if you could hit it now, please.
Hit it.
Everyone stand, please. You standing, Ryan?
I am. Yes.
Does life suck for you today?
I feel like Christmas vacation when Eddie stood at the Thanksgiving table.
Listen up, Americans. I've been out getting my mind right. I'm speaking to you one-to-one here on this. And by the way, I think you chose the wrong music, but that's okay. It sounds like more like supposed to be the presidential. Hell to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Not hell to the Tinkle Bell.
Yeah, let's try that again.
But anyway, let's start back over.
Let's see.
That's tough. This is hard to set this up. It was going so well. Go ahead.
All right, let's try.
I would like to point out that I searched "Hail to the Chief," anthem of the President of the United States,
and
that's what came up,
and that's what popped up.
I mean, Google has. If you Google Donald Trump, Kamala comes up. So I mean, they're probably not wanting us to listen to it, Wyatt. It's
okay. So let's just do this. Da 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 da. And y'all can do that, and then I'm gonna come roll up. There we go. There we go. There you go.
Do I go over here? Do I go over here or there?
Yeah.
Where do you want me to stand? You want me to stand?
Oh, you are standing?
Well, no, I mean, I'm kind of like doing the best Biden impersonation.
But hold on, here we go. I gotta get right, guys. I gotta get mentally right here.
Hold on. Do you want me to stand over here?
Americans, Tide fans, everyone listening, you know we are in dire times. There's like nowhere you can turn for answers and help. You look at the border.
Oh.
There's no one down there helping. There's no one doing anything. But you know what? Kamala can. Look at the price of groceries and household items and energy and all the necessities. If you can afford to buy a home, look at how much they have gone up and how hard it is to get that done. And no one has any answers. But you know what, Ryan?
Yes.
Kamala can. Now, Ryan, excuse me, I got something about throat. Ryan, it seems like we are so divided today. You agree with me?
A little bit. Are you trying to get us back together?
You know who can do that?
Who?
There's only one person.
Yeah.
Kamala can.
She can?
Kamala can.
Are you saying tomato can or Kamala can?
Kamala can.
Kamala can. Yeah.
Kamala Khan. Excuse me, I'm back.
I've always wanted to vote for a laughing hyena that has about a 25 on the IQ test. But okay,
let me tell you something. I'm gonna leave you with this before I go into the thing. But I'm gonna leave you with this, and everyone needs to ponder this. This is from the brilliance of Kamala.
Okay.
To see what can be.
No.
Unburdened.
No, God, no.
What has been.
Ooh.
To see, like, not to be blind, but to see what can, not can't, can be.
Kamala can.
Unburdened. Unburdened. Oh, unburdened.
Hey, if you don't mind, since you are now, this is if anybody's on social networks, this all makes sense. Okay, it all makes sense.
Unburdened people. Unburdened. But if you can see, you can be unburdened. By what has been. Namaste, Ryan.
Hey,
I told you I'd tell you what. Okay, go ahead. I'll finish
I was gonna ask you real quick if you don't mind, since I heard a great, brilliant explanation of inflation the other day. Is there any way you could summarize that for us?
Inflation?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. So when you got more money than you need to have in circulation.
No. You must have not heard her explanation of inflation.
Oh, hers?
Yeah,
no. But I can't believe I didn't get it in our training class up in the Himalayas as they were getting us ready to go out and promote, because, this is a global election coming up. I hope everyone knows that. This is globally.
Global election.
There's no doubt. You don't think the rest of the world's hinging on us not becoming Marxists or not following Donald Trump or whatever, you want to say? I can't give it away yet. But anyway,
they're
yeah.
Involved. Okay.
Well, of course they are. We all know that.
I thought CNN. Well, I thought CNN told me that Donald Trump was behind Russia, or Russia was behind Donald.
Then that means he did it.
Oh, okay, got it.
Obey, Ryan. Obey.
I'll get back in line. My bad.
Obey.
I don't need my Toyota to go up in the air, so I'll.
That's right.
I'm back in line.
Now, Ryan, I want to wish you and all the listeners, and please tell your friends to podcast this call. What is it? When do you need to go back and hear it again?
Tide109.com. Just do a search for the game, and you'll find it right there. Hour number
on today,
3.
5 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or whatever going through. Hey, Namaste. What is the meaning? Okay, go ahead.
No, I got to ask.
No, go ahead. I keep feeling like I'm going on too long. So I'm trying to cut it off quick. If you want me to relax, then I'll relax, and you can ask me whatever.
I want to ask you before I get to these phone calls here.
Because it's Friday, and I know
it's free.
And by the way, what am I calling for? What am I going to win? Y'all don't have a thing going on? I'd have changed my day to call. Go ahead, I'm playing.
We're giving something away tomorrow, but...
There you go. I'm in. All right. So go ahead.
But I was curious if what the Kamala team thinks about a dude in a boxing ring knocking out a woman.
She deserved it.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
She deserved it.
Okay.
That's what women get from real women.
Okay. She deserved it. That's the...
See, what happened
Well, you've actually said more than Kamala has said, because she's been very silent on these topics.
That boxer. Now, boxers are people that wear gloves, and they wear these gloves, and they tighten them up, and they get into a ring. And it's actually a square. And they get into that ring. They fight for a few minutes, and there's so many rounds. Rounds is how long it takes for the 3 minutes to go through. So anyway, they ring the bells, and they go in. So this person right here, what happened is that this person showed the other person who was real. because they were unburdened because they could see.
What has been?
So they were unburdened. Whatever that last part is, I can't remember it anymore.
Yeah, we got it. If anybody has been on any type of social networks, all of this makes sense. It is a brilliant.
Tommy, we apologize.
Yeah, Tommy's like, what are they talking about?
If the good Reverend were around, listening to that right now, what do you think would happen?
Well, he would have got it. He would have got it. You
think he would have?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because, man, he sent me a lot of emails before. Oh my Lord, yes, blasting me. So yes. All right.
You'd have been so fired up. Okay, so Ryan.
Yes.
And Wyatt.
Yes.
Wyatt. And everyone that's listening, and everyone that's going to tune in later. Simon, yes, and Wyatt. He's listening. You know it. He's all over it. Stuff going through. Namaste to all of y'all. Namaste means a lot of things.
Buenos noches.
But yes, Taco Tuesday, $1 water for Taco Tuesday, Tommy's special. Anyway, with that being said, when I tell you namaste, let me tell you what my namaste means. Roll Tide, roll, and roll America first. Roll. Out.
The Pharmacy at Midtown, TJ Thomas, he proudly presents Tony in Tuscaloosa, the Pharmacy at Midtown. TJ Thomas, he's the Nick Saban of pharmacists. He'll be working on being the Kalen DeBoer of pharmacists. You can find him at the Pharmacy at Midtown, the only sterile compounding facility here in Tuscaloosa. All the compounding needs. And by the way, medicine, I know that our politicians are doing an amazing job and they're doing all they possibly can. But did you know that medicine, just simple medications that people need to live their life, with maybe some health issues that they're having, it's actually hard to find. I mean, there is many medications. The Pharmacy at Midtown. That's how I got connected with those guys about 5 or 6 years ago. They are able to locate that hard-to-get medication. It is the Pharmacy at Midtown. Make the switch. The Pharmacy at Midtown. You're going to pay the same regardless of where you choose. We ask that you would choose the Pharmacy at Midtown. We'll come back. We'll take Chris in Florence. We'll take J-Rob, Larry in Northport, Josh in Georgia, and many others. Next, T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
An already successful businessman is weeks away from opening Southern Ale House Dockside, the first ever restaurant on Lake Tuscaloosa. 2 Pickens County men will each spend 20 years in prison after they pleaded guilty last month in 2 separate cases involving the sexual abuse of children. And severe storms are possible this afternoon and evening in the northern half of our listening area, including in Tuscaloosa County. For the details on all these stories and more, get connected at TuscaloosaThread.com.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, good news for motorists traveling on Skyland northbound after McFarland Boulevard. An earlier accident all cleared, and now what you're looking at is just basic travels. Now we're also looking at I-20 right now. That's, or 2059 rather. That's moving very nicely.
Give that to them each and every time they come and visit us.
The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco Casa.
Every Friday here on The Game is always powered by Brian Harden Construction, industrial contractors and fabrication, laser cutting, CNC machines, reverse engineering, experience you can count on. Let's build something together. BHardenConst.com, and we're looking for people to become a part of our winning team. Structural welders, pipe fitters, you'll find those at Brian Harden Construction. Let them guide you, and if they're not able to help you, they can.
Nissan is your #1 dealer, and they'll beat any written offer or pay you $1,000. Keeping you #1 keeps Townsend Nissan #1. See dealer for details.
The best breakdown of Alabama football in the...
It is a free-for-all Friday sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you're building from the ground up, let's build something together. But you know, that song reminds me that I've got to wish a very, very happy birthday to my awesome niece who turns 13. So she is bringing up the caboose for our family. We have no more, and I don't think we have any more planned. I think that has been prevented. So we're done. We're done. Unless there's a dog that is added to our family, which we consider as family members. So happy birthday. Happy birthday. CR. I'll just use that initials. Sometimes she goes by CR. Her name's Charlie. So happy birthday, Charlie. Just getting out of volleyball practice. Now, Wyatt, you're going to have to help me here because I don't know my volleyball, but she's the one who wears the different color jersey. Libero? Is that the way you say that?
I think so.
Simon's giving me a nod.
Simon said that was right.
Okay, libero. Okay, so that means that's the one that you got to toughen out. You got to go out and dig the ball out of the mat, and you're willing to sacrifice your body. And I've got a friend of mine over in Mississippi who's going, I thought I taught you, because I believe his daughter also plays. I know she plays that position in the college level, but. So I should know that. I'm glad I passed that test. Simon, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So happy birthday, Miss Charlie. 13 years of age. At 13, you've just about got the world figured out. You've just about been able to solve most equations in life. I would agree. Let's go to Chris in Florence. Chris, good afternoon. Roll Tide to you. How are you?
Roll Tide, and you just had to make me laugh when you said 13's got it figured out.
They do, Chris.
If I tell you what I was doing when I was 13, if I thought everything, I was picking my feet up off the floor.
Well, you could. That's an option. That's an option. 13. Like I said, I'm not where I needed to be, but I'm not where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So. But 13
That's
is
a good point.
Yeah, 13 is it's an age where you make a transition, and
It is. I have a son, of course, that's just turned 12. So I remember one of the questions on Family Feud said, "What year does he loves watching Family Feud, by the way?" And one of the questions was, "What year does a boy start thinking girls are interesting?" Number one answer: 13.
Well. Her dad's got many guns,
Yep.
so I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
So,
well, you have had some very interesting callers today. The last one?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, and let me kind
It was good.
Let me kind of connect the dots, Chris. Kamala,
please connect the dots.
George Soros hired Tony to stand behind Kamala, and I was going to ask him about the Mega the Stallion. What's that girl's name? Megan the Stallion?
Megan the Stallion, yes. Megan the
I was going
Stallion.
to ask him about that concert the other day. They had a big concert.
Yes.
Over in Georgia. And but I don't know if maybe that paid extra to stand behind her. But different days, different flavors of the day. So he gets to go to a makeup artist, and then they paint him up, and then. Because, who else would want to stand behind a laughing hyena that has an IQ of about 25?
Yeah, it reminds me of the guy. Her laugh reminds me of, what's his name from the Lion King? Ed, yeah.
Yeah, which now I have a goofy laugh, too. I've just learned not to use it in public. She undoubtedly has not learned that skill. So.
No, she hasn't. That's why I haven't been on the show very much, because I've been campaigning. They'll just let anybody run for president.
Oh, so you've been thinking about running too, Chris?
Yeah, pretty much. I've got an idea for a VP, and I just don't know if he'll take it.
It's not funny, Ed.
That is brilliant. It is very, very close.
That was right. I'm just sitting here.
Can you
I can't even finish my sentence.
be
I'm
honest.
done. I'm done. I'm done.
Chris,
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean that's a mic drop. But could you imagine her sitting down with some of these world leaders and trying to negotiate a deal? Anything. I mean, whether you're talking about swapping a box of rice for a box of donuts, or
if Wyatt will have that ready, I will do that for you right now. If Wyatt will have that ready for you, I will do that. Mr. President, we would love for you to let us bring in some of our great products. What do you think of that?
Is it okay if we fly a balloon filled with intelligence across your country? Yeah, sure.
Where's it? I'm done. I can't do it. I'm done. Thank you, Wyatt.
Thanks, Chris. Have a good one, man.
Y'all have a good one, too. I enjoy practice tomorrow. That is hilarious. Oh, my gosh.
Chris.
And hopefully you don't get too hot tomorrow.
We'll do our best. We'll think of this day because it cooled a lot of things off. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.
Right back to you. Let's break right here. We'll come back. J-Rob's next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of
Many pre-owned and certified BMWs are waiting for you at BMW of Tuscaloosa, 3537 Skyland Boulevard East, or at bmwoftuscaloosa.com.
Tuscaloosa Tide 100.9 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports. I do remind you about Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Go over and see those guys Monday through Saturday. You can find lunch and dinner options, and a great dinner special is always on Friday and Saturday night. They take it to another level, and don't leave there without having some of that great bread pudding. But the evening specials, coffee rub prime rib, smoked pork chop, the seared mahi-mahi. Looking at tomorrow for lunch, they will do, and they've got your bacon ranch cheddar tots is the victual of the day. Tomorrow looks like coffee rub prime ribs, smoked pork chop, blackened chicken, Alfredo. Man, my eyes are giving me a little tricks there. Seared mahi-mahi over smashed potatoes. That's an option. Oh, I got a couple of photos here as well. Coffee rub prime ribs, smoked pork chop. And then also bringing back some of those great specials. But either way, they'll amp it up. The great menu items, bacon wrap meatloaf, fish and taters. You'll find the biscuit sandwiches. You'll find the burgers. You'll find the great salads. I went to lunch today, had a chicken club. Oh, yeah. Had a good chicken club. And always the amazing wait staff at Southern Ale House. Eat Southern, be Southern. The bread pudding for just a limited time. Strawberry honey bun bread pudding. And also they got the cheesecake as always. Our good folks right there at Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. J-Rob has also been campaigning for Kamala. J-Rob, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Happy Friday and roll tide, Ryan Fowler. How are you doing today?
We're good. Just, it's a kind of a little bit of a rainy day in Tuscaloosa. But, I've already mowed my grass.
Appreciate you letting me in the game today, but I that was an insult right off the bat. I mean, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get me to hang up on you today?
Well, I know, but some of our callers have been busy, and, we just want to highlight their performance.
Yeah, yesterday I was really busy, and I was in and out of the house. I had the game on, but I just heard little itsy bitsy pieces. But I did hear one part, and you were crying about how hot it is out there at 9 o'clock in the morning at practice, and you was whining and crying about being at practice.
We're not as
so hot.
Good as we once was, but not as bad as we once was either. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You sounded like Barner Nick crying about how long he's been on hold, man. It was awful. It was awful.
Well, it was a little tough. I have learned how to drive into practice and then go right back to home, take a shower, and then come right back for media availability, because the media availability is inside, so you don't have to worry about, like burning up. But they put us out on that practice, which, listen, I'm not complaining, because Nick Saban used to give us individual stretching drills. And I'm going to tell you, man, I watched a lot of great athletes stretch. It was really, really awesome, J-Rob. Now we actually see footballs being thrown. Yeah. Wide receivers running routes. Oh, yeah.
It's good. We can hear about those things. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We're glad you're there.
Yeah. Defensive linemen doing defensive-like maneuvers. So, like I said, we used to get stretching drills. Now we get real fundamental football.
Well, I'm kind of concerned about Tony. Has he been kidnapped by a cult or something? And does he need to be deprogrammed? Do we need to get Democracy Dan to come in and start a reprogramming program with him?
Well,
what's up with him?
His yin and his yang is off. His yin and his yang is off.
Something is going wrong. We need our old Tony back. He's gone way out there.
Well,
and it's not good.
He's woke.
Woo, man, it's awful.
Yeah, he's woke up.
Yeah, he needs to get back to reality again and get back to his old self. But I know you got a lot of callers that are waiting today, so I'm not going to have a whole long call today. I just wanted to.
I mean, do you have any rants? Anything bothering you? Cats, your neighbor's cat pooping in your yard?
That call. But at the start of the 5 o'clock hour, that kind of bothers me. It kind of hurt my feelings, and I'm standing up for my right to say it sucks. SAUCK.
Roll Tide.
You have a great weekend.
And I
Ryan
can't
Fowler,
wait
you're the
till
best.
one of these days we'll have Happy Football Friday, because you were always
29 days, 28 days, and you'll have Happy Football Friday. You have a great weekend, Ryan. Don't work too hard tomorrow, and don't be crying about it being hot. Be a man and work through it. Roll
Hey, I'm claiming to be a man. I'm not having that issue.
Don't go into that, man. Don't get me
If
started.
you don't, you can go boxing.
I could do the boxing thing. Hey, I'm telling you, I would have been a professional football player if I'd have known all these different tricks. But thanks, J-Rob.
Well, you wouldn't be a pretty woman. I can tell you that. That's for a fact.
Pretty
you have a great
woman
weekend.
Walking down.
Roll Tide. Woo!
Thanks, J-Rob. We appreciate it. Man, we've been off in the weeds. Let's see. Josh in Georgia, save the show. Hope all is well.
Yeah, everything's good, except I feel like on a free-for-all Friday, this is where I can say we have officially went in the weeds.
Oh, yeah, and we're proud of it, too.
Right? Usually it feels like every free-for-all Friday up to this point.
And this morning, see, a little bit unusual today. I went and grabbed the Husqvarna Z554. They've been wanting me to try this one out for a little bit, and I have. Bryant Keith Ellis. I'm impressed with the Z554L, which is the big commercial mower. Just tried it out just to see exactly where I can talk about it, but plenty of power, 28 horsepower, plenty of giddy up, if you know what I mean. And I went out this morning. I did all this show prep, so you can blame Husqvarna and Northport Power Equipment for this, because that's kind of like my think tank. So I planned this show out on the lawnmower this morning. Yeah, I did. Yeah, don't laugh, Josh. It's true, man.
I believe you. I believe that you every day plan the thing out, and more times than not, like any day, every day gets derailed somehow. So I know you like to have your questions for the week.
But today has been a little bumpy. It
ain't for the faint of heart.
Well, it's kind of like the stock market, a little bumpy.
Right.
Sometimes big bumps. Sometimes, don't look at your 401k today.
All right.
Even our friends from the left can do the math.
Right.
Yeah.
But hey, it was good to hear Tony's voice, even though. He sounds like he's been out in space, out in Colorado or Washington, and he got him a hold of some stuff. So maybe even Michigan. I just heard from a guy yesterday. sitting there, like I said, getting my truck serviced, and he said they just legalized it in Michigan. And he said, man, he said it smells like skunk weed everywhere you go. I was like, okay. So
well, heck, I already do that in Tuscaloosa, a lot of places you go to. So
But that's just what he said. I mean, I wouldn't comment on it. So there I go, putting myself in the weeds with something, you know?
Well,
so,
just,
but anyway.
You know, have you ever wanted to vote for a laughing hyena that has an IQ of about 25?
No.
You got your chance, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. And that's all I'll say about that.
Build America Back Better, or Build America Better, or whatever. Though I mean, it's.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I've always wanted to pay $7 for a gallon of milk. That's been my goal.
Oh yeah. Hey, and $5 for a gallon of Milo's sweet tea, right?
$4.79. It's went up. $4.79.
I know.
See, you got to feel sorry for me because I have to buy a gallon of sweet and a gallon of unsweet.
Sweet and unsweet.
And mix it.
Hey,
so.
you're talking to a guy who buys 2 sweets a week. I mean, I go through 2 gallons of sweet tea a week.
Yeah.
So, so I feel your pain right there.
Well, and the orange juice has, it's no longer a half a gallon of orange juice. It's now 52 ounces. So, that was, you know, like I said, real brilliant moves. Yeah. And I mean, it makes me feel fuzzy on the inside. You know what I mean? It's just like I want to throw out money out. Loaf of bread, $9, gallon of milk, $7,
right.
Eggs.
Right. But, hey, it's another day closer, 29 days away. One Minkah Fitzpatrick. And I was sitting here trying to think, and I didn't Google it. Probably should have, just to see who else wore 29. I'm not starting a debate. But I will say this from my time as an Alabama fan. Minkah was one of my favorite guys to watch fly around on that defensive side of the football. And there's times where I'm like, man, I miss him. And I feel like Malachi can play a lot like that. So, because before he got hurt, I feel like Malachi was one of those guys that could fly around wherever you really kind of needed him. I know he was corner and then kind of has transitioned to that safety spot, but I feel like he's going to do good at that safety spot. So, but, hey, dude, I can't wait. And I know I've been amped up a little bit more, but it's Friday. It's been a long week for me. And like I said, I deal with mixed fan bases through the week. And, hey, so last night I had asked you what shirt to wear. So I wore my SEC championship shirt.
Yes.
I got some nice sparkly comments off of that. A lot of them I can't repeat.
So
anyway,
what's your typical comeback? Like if you have a dog.
Typical comeback is Kirby was 1-5 against Coach Saban. I mean, that's basic
that's
comeback.
a good one. That's a good one.
Hey, typical comeback's that. Also, typical comeback is that we've played in the SEC conference game more than anybody else because it has been us in Florida. If you go back and look at the record from 92 to 2023, Bama and Florida has played for the conference title more than anybody since it was a split East-West division title game. And Bama has won it more than anybody else because, I mean, we do have 30 conference titles as you run through every day at 5 o'clock. And then we're undefeated against the Bull Puppies in conference title games in Atlanta. I mean, I can't remember that record right off. I think it's 8-0, ain't it? It might be 5-0. I can't remember our conference title record against the Bull Puppies.
I'll have to go
it's
get
something
that
like
one.
that.
I don't know
it's
that one.
something like that. I could rattle it off right quick, but I'd have to think about it too much. But I know we're undefeated against them because that is Bryant-Denny East. But I just smile and wave and say, hey, y'all must have fun being number 2 in the conference.
Roll Tide. Josh, I appreciate you, man. I got to get to this break, man. Thank you. We're going to get to more phone calls coming up here in a couple of minutes. Larry in Northport, don't go anywhere. We're taking you next. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We're looking at delays on Lurleen Wallace in the southbound direction just before University Boulevard. That crash blocks that left lane, so the right lane squeezing by. And McFarland, you've got construction work aplenty on the east and westbound side between Jack Warner Parkway and Lurleen Wallace.
You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
The best sports talk show in all of Alabama. .9 app.
Hey, I want to remind you about our good folks right there at Mark's Mark. They're going to be cooking up some great things. If you want to dominate the grill this weekend, you got to go by and see Mark's Mark. You'll find them right there at in downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge. You'll also find them in Selma. They've been there since 1978. It is home of the chicken swirl. You'll find that. Also the seafood entrees, great steaks, ribeyes, fillets, burgers, all the cakes, the dips, the appetizers, the pies. You can find some great ones there. You can find Jacob and all the folks right there downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge. Just got a Larry in Northport. Larry, I'm just about out of time, but I'm going to try to split it between you and Ellis. I hope all is well.
Hey, everything's great, brother. Quick thing, man, we're getting hammered over here in Northport.
I see it. I see it. We are not. We're not on Skyline Boulevard. Believe it or not, we've had very few raindrops that have happened, but I see the red.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's letting up a little bit now, so. I'm a new caller, man, and I just wanted to, get in, so maybe I could get in for one of those prize packages, because I don't want to be what Red said, a buzzard coming in at the last minute.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. That was a famous Redism that has not went anywhere.
Oh, dude, I loved him so much, man, so much.
We do as well.
And which leads me to my question, Johnny from Coleman. Does he still call it?
He does. He does.
Okay,
from time to time. He called it about a month ago. Yeah, he's still hanging out with us. Yep.
Well, that scared me, man. I did. But my thing, Free for All Friday, I keep it short. I don't know how well you know Roger Hoover, and I love to hear him call women's basketball. His energy's great, but the baseball, now, I still like his energy, man, but he's got a little bit to learn, and I want him, he don't have to call. He's on the radio. He don't have to call everything while it's going on, so he can calm it down just a little bit.
Who, Roger?
Yeah. He, like I say, if you listen to him call the women's basketball game, that's the same way he calls the baseball game. And you can't do that, Ryan.
I think he's brilliant behind the baseball side of things. I love to listen.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just may disagree. Hey, let's talk about this on Monday, Larry. We got a little bit more time. I'm out of time right now.
Yeah. All right, brother. All right, man. Roll Tide.
Thanks, Larry. Northport, Ellis, Manchester, Tennessee. Ellis, got about 30 seconds. Let it rip. Go.
Hey, there ain't no confusion, Ryan. If you're a man, you're born with a penis. If you're a woman, you're born with a vagina. Roll Tide.